despite the very, very cold conditions at Carrow Road. Here we go then, Norwich not so much looking for a win, but looking for a goal. Suddenly, this side that's thought of so highly for its great attacking flair, its attacking skill. The goals have tried its attacking skill. Buendia is back. How much of a difference will he make? He did, of course, play against Stoke earlier this season, a game in which he was sent off. So it could go either way today. Buendia returns, so does Vrancic, so does Janulis. The Norwich team, it's Krul in goal, Aarons, Hanley, Gibson and Janulis across the back. Skip, Vrancic and McLean in midfield. Buendia and Cantwell playing in support of Pukki up front. The subs, Barden, the goalkeeper, Zimmerman, Rupp, Dow, Sorensen, Hernandez, Quintia, Tetti and Ida. And the one thing, Simon Lappin, that went through my mind as I was reading that list of Norwich names out was, actually, they've all been there and done it. Yes, they've had a few games where things haven't gone to plan, but they've got the experience to deal with it, haven't they? Almost to a man now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you go back to the Championship season when they won it. You look through that squad, there's not that many change from there. So, as you say, Chris, they've been there and done it. They know what it takes to overcome these mini speed bumps that they're in at the moment. And hopefully, they can start the game really positively today and get at Stoke. So I'm sure, as I say, that they'll come here and make it really difficult for Norwich.
The Stoke team, Angus Gunn in goal. What a shame for Angus Gunn that he's just run in front of an empty river end. He would have got such a great response if there were fans in this ground today. There's absolutely no doubt about that. The name Gunn so synonymous with Carrow Road. Collins, Suter, Chester and Fox across the back. They'll play with John Obi Mikel and Joe Allen. Difficult to think of a more experienced midfield duo in the Championship. Sam Klukas in there as well. They've got the youngster Jack Clark playing on the right-hand side. Nick Powell on the left. And it's Stephen Fletcher up front. The players taking the knee. You can hear On the Ball City being played through the public address system at Carrow Road just to try and get that big match atmosphere going. But it's amazing to think we're only a couple of weeks away from a full year without Carrow Road being full. We're underway. It's Stoke who've kicked us off. They're attacking the Barclay stand in the first half. So that's left to right as we look at it. They're in their red and white striped shirts, white shorts, white socks, Norwich in yellow and green. And straight away, Hanley wrestling with Stephen Fletcher. That's going to be a good battle today, I think. Norwich have possession. It's McLean deep inside his own half, who plays it forward to Pukki. Vrancic chasing it forward. And the ball is back with Angus Gunn, the goalkeeper, of course, who was born in Norwich while his dad was Norwich's goalkeeper. And he has gone on to have a good spell on loan with Norwich a couple of seasons ago and now on loan at Stoke. And it does look, Simon, you're on top of the tactics, it does look as if it's Vrancic who's keeping that number 10 position and McLean playing further back.
Yeah, McLean and Skipper. And again, the times that I've seen Skipper this year, I've been so impressed by him. I keep going on about how he's shown maturity beyond his years playing in that position.
Norwich has just given the ball away. It's Allen deep inside the Norwich half. Plays it towards the right-hand side, and actually he might have gone forward there, but it's Clark who picks it up. Comes dribbling inside for Stoke, central position, angles the ball out towards the left-hand side. There's space here for Stoke. They've crossed the ball into the penalty area, and it's headed behind by Max Aarons. So they got Morgan Fox free on the left-hand side there, did Stoke. Dangerous ball into the penalty area. And within the first couple of minutes, Norwich have been forced to concede a corner. If there are any nerves, that little passage of play won't help.
Yeah, good play from Jack Clark on the right-hand side here, coming in the pitch and putting a lovely ball into the left-hand side for Morgan Fox, and a good defending to cut it out, but they've now got a corner to deal with.
Oh, Klukas, former Hull and Swansea player, goes across to the left-hand side, plays the corner in with the left foot. It's fired goalwards and just wide. That was so close for Stoke taking the lead. It was the first corner of the game. It arrived around the penalty spot, and the shot came in, and that really was not far away. It was John Obi Mikel who caught it on the half volley and dragged it across the face of goal. That arguably should be 1-0 to Stoke.
Unbelievable chance for Stoke. I don't know if there's maybe a mix-up in communication with Cantwell and whoever else it was in there. Cantwell seemed to duck out the way his out-swinging corner just went over his shoulder, and it falls to the kill. And very fortunate not to be 1-0 down. It's
a shaky start for Norwich. McLean has just played a terrible ball towards the Norwich left wing, has given it away, and Stoke have possession again. And it's John Obi Mikel who finds Collins. The ball played up towards Fletcher, who is tackled by Hanley, and Norwich have possession. And McLean bringing it up towards halfway, uses it better this time, finds Emi Buendia, who's back for Norwich City, and he's already set Giannoulis away on the left. First time cross from him is cut out on the edge of the 6-yard box. Collins tries to prevent it from going behind for the corner. He does. It'll be a throw-in instead to Norwich City. That was better from Norwich.
Yeah, a good passage of play there. That'll just settle the nerves of having to deal with it with the corner. And as I said, they were lucky not to be 1-0 down. Two passes, good pass from Ken McLean into Buendia, and a good ball out wide to Giannoulis, and now hopefully can gain some territory in the attacking third.
Just needs to calm it down a bit. A sloppy start from Norwich. John Obi Mikel was never known for his goal scoring record in 11 years at Chelsea, but won plenty of medals, and he really should have put them in front, but not to be. Here's Hanley showing a good turn of skill on halfway before knocking the ball across here to Skip, and out wide it goes to Aarons, coming forward for Norwich City, halfway inside the Stoke half, 0-0. Freezing cold Carrow Road. Campbell's just found a pocket of space halfway inside the Stoke half. Manages to get it out to the right-hand side. Aarons up to the corner of the penalty area. He crosses it, takes a deflection, and is cleared away from inside the 6-yard box by the fullback Collins. Norwich come again. Hanley stoops to head the ball down to his fellow Scottish international Kenny McLean. McLean comes forward, 25 yards from goal, onto Campbell, who turns it first time to the left, and Yanulis, corner of the penalty area. Yanulis works the cross in. It's been cleared as far as McLean, who tees up Buendia, 20 yards from goal. Buendia wide right, Aarons, he flashed it across. Oh, Pukki with a back heel across the face of goal. Didn't get enough on it. Campbell keeps it in by the byline on the left-hand side. He crosses, and it's dug out by a Stoke defender. Yanulis tees up McLean on the edge of the penalty area. McLean finds Buendia in the D. Buendia wriggling and twisting and turning and finding the pass to Yanulis on the left-hand side. A poor first touch from Yanulis. It runs under his foot, but he regathers it, and then he's tackled, and it's a throw-in.
Really
Norwich,
good.
Norwich now stepping it up.
Yeah, really good spell of pressure they're having here. And I think in the space of 2 minutes, we had 5 crosses into the box. None of them creating anything, but Norwich really showing their intent, and it's pleasing to see that they're not looking for that perfect pass every single time.
A change perhaps you've noticed there tactically as Clark whacks the ball upfield from the right back position for Stoke. Hanley slightly misjudging it, but we'll get there ahead of Fletcher comfortably, and we'll play the ball back to Tim Krul. So 4 minutes gone, 0-0. We've already had a golden opportunity for Stoke that John Obi Mikel couldn't take, and Norwich have responded well, looking to get the ball into the penalty area as often as possible. Vrancic now to Buendia. Buendia angles the ball forward to the left-hand side. Yanulis is going to catch up with this one. He's level with the Stoke penalty area, rolls it towards the edge of the area now, and it's Vrancic who manages to squeeze it through somehow to Emi Buendia, across the Pukki, who turns it goalwards, then Buendia slices it across the face of goal. Aarons back into the 6-yard box. There's a real scramble here, and Stoke have somehow smuggled it behind, and it's a Norwich corner. How did that stay out? Buendia and Pukki could not make proper contact.
I've got no idea, and again, great play from Norwich. This is the one where I've actually that little pass from Vrancic in between the Stoke defence, but again, it comes from good play to get into wide areas to cross it. Fall to Vrancic, and then it gets into the box, and how it's not ended up in I don't know, Chris.
Corner to Norwich. Buendia, right hand side, plays it in. McLean helps it on. It loops over the top and behind, and will be a goal kick. What a frantic start. 5.5 minutes gone, 0-0. I think it's early, but I think we can already talk about a slight difference in Norwich's approach. I think the last few games, I've lost count of the number of times we've commentated on players getting the ball on the corner of the opposition penalty area and then running into the middle and not getting the shot in. This time, there's a real emphasis on just getting the ball in, isn't there?
And you can see Stoke, exactly that, Chris, that they're just banking off on the edge of the box. I think the first time it went out to the right-hand side, Max Adams, his first thought was touch and deliver. And it just puts Stoke on the back foot a little bit. And so they get 4 further crosses into the box.
McLean knocks it up to Pukki, who is just crowded out of it on the edge of the Stoke penalty area. But Pukki works so hard and wins a throw in there. Out of the young defender Nathan Collins, and he's taken it quickly, and he's got Campbell into it. Now Pukki on the right-hand side, the ball ricochets towards Buendia on the edge of the area. Klukas is well placed to get his head to it, and Stoke have got a measure of control for the first time in a while. They fire the ball up the field, they go direct, and Clark could be in around the back here, but there's Krul sweeping up 20 yards from goal to clear. It really is a busy start to this game. It's goalless. Hanley's just been penalised for climbing over the back of Stephen Fletcher, and Stoke have a free kick.
Yeah, it's certainly been lively. It's very entertaining so far. Just Hanley a little bit over-eager to win the ball there and climbing all over the top of Stephen Fletcher to try and get it. And as you said, that'll be a really good battle from them two today.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely will be. Fletcher, who scored against Norwich for Sheffield Wednesday in that game where Vrancic scored his famous free kick in the Championship a couple of seasons ago. 0-0 here, but it's plenty of intent at either end.
And I know we were talking before the game, Chris, about the Teemu Pukki and his goal scoring and how good he's been for the club, but just there, he's pressing. What he does for the side that people maybe don't appreciate, he works so hard off the ball.
High ball into the Norwich penalty area. The shot comes in, it rattles the crossbar, but it wouldn't have counted because Yanulis had been fouled, and so Norwich have a free kick back inside their own penalty area. Well, Stoke, I would say, have got men back, haven't they? And when Norwich have had the attacks, there have been plenty of red and white striped shirts behind the ball, but I wouldn't say that they're totally parking the bus, because they're looking to turn Norwich at every opportunity as well and get forward too.
Yeah, absolutely, because they know that Norwich will play with their fullbacks high and there is space for them to exploit down the sides there. But when Norwich have the ball in our attacking third, you see how much, and again, the games that I've been here and fortunate enough to be with you guys, teams just bank up and it's so hard to play through it. And that's why I was saying it's pleasing to see 5 or 6 occasions now we've gone to wide areas and tried to deliver crosses, because it gives Stoke something else to think about. They'll be expecting Norwich to try and play these intricate balls in between them, but that just gives him a little bit of something to think about.
So 0-0 after 8 minutes. Easily be 1-1 though. Chances at either end. Here's Vrancic wide to the right-hand side, and Max Aarons is coming forward. Aarons has got Campbell making an intelligent run. He's level with the penalty area. Gives it back to Aarons. Another crossing opportunity here. Aarons does cross it. Job. It's behind Skip. It's fallen for Yanulis in the penalty area. Yanulis is being tightly marked, but he's got a decent touch there to get it back to Skip on the left-hand side. Now it's Vrancic, 25 yards from goal. On to Emi Buendia. Lots of Stoke defenders back. Buendia brings it towards the corner of the penalty area and then changes the angle. He picks it out. Aarons on the edge of the box. Aarons tries to take his man on. He's found Pukki. From the angle, Pukki across the face of goal and wide. Norwich are getting chances here.
Yeah, good play again. Really patient this time. Going from left-hand side back out to right. And great ball from Buendia as it gets really congested. He sees Max Aarons on the right-hand side. And a good ball across the box. There's a sort of shot come cross from Pukki as it goes, flashes right across 4 yards out.
That was incredible, wasn't it? Pukki right across the 6-yard box. And it's one of those where if Vrancic had perhaps just gambled on it, he might have got it. He would have had a tap in, but not to be. I thought the chance Buendia had a few moments ago, we haven't had a chance to talk about it, from the angle on the corner of the 6-yard box. That did look a good chance.
Yeah, they've had chances, Norwich. They've not really tested Angus Gunn yet. They've got some great areas.
But yet to make it count, 0-0. Norwich going back to goalkeeper Krul. Fletcher will try and close him down. Krul's got the composure to knock it out to McLean. He's still in his own penalty area. 0-0. McLean works it into the midfield and Skip quickly on to Cantwell. Yanulis steaming forward on the left-hand side. He's the Norwich fullback, but he's been in front of us in the attacking half of the pitch for most of the game so far. They've gone wide right this time, though, and it's Aarons who will cross into the penalty area. Vrancic on the volley, straight at Angus Gunn. That would have been a lovely goal.
Yeah, again, a great ball from Max Aarons. He's 25 yards, 30 yards from the byline, and again, his first thought there, get the ball out of his feet, great ball in. Vrancic does really well to control on his right foot, but it's straight at Angus Gunn, and a comfortable save for him.
Well, Gunn did play 51 games for Norwich City, and that season he had on loan. He's been closed down now by Pukki. Gunn gets the kick away. Yanulis with a strong chest forward there to McLean. He has it taken away from him by Joe Allen. Knocked up to Fletcher. Heavy first touch from him. Allows Gibson to come and get ahead to it. And Norwich have possession. They've got Campbell in a good position here. Left-hand side. Halfway inside the Stoke half. John Obi Mikel chasing him down and fouling him. And Norwich will get a free kick on the left-hand side. We've got piles of snow pushed up against the advertising hoardings on this near side, the south stand side. But the pitch doesn't look too bad at all, given the
no, it certainly doesn't. Especially some of the pitches that I've played in recent years.
Yeah, 0-0. But really intriguing start, really entertaining stuff. Both sides going for it, and both sides have had chances. And here's McLean. A ball with the outside of the foot, looking for Aarons, who couldn't get there. Now Skip gathers. He finds Aarons on the right-hand side. Aarons plays it back to Hanley. Norwich just looking at a wall of red and white striped shirts. Stoke have everyone back behind the ball at the moment. It's up to Norwich to try and pick a way through. They've had to make do with the throw-in's gone Stoke's way over on that far side.
I actually thought it was a foul on Kenny McLean through the back of him there. But I know we've spoke about Norwich and the competence and the no goals in the last 4 games, but they certainly don't look short in competence the way they're playing at the moment.
And Stoke have drawn all of their last 7 away matches. 7 draws in a row away from home. So they're certainly difficult to beat under Michael O'Neill, but that's the challenge for Norwich City. And that's a real challenge on Todd Campbell, pushed to the ground by Joe Allen. And a free kick for Norwich City. Allen, former Liverpool player, had 4 seasons with Liverpool. It's not long back after a kind of serious injury problem. Made his return in December. A useful player to have in the Championship, Joe Allen.
As you said, Chris, you got real experience with Obi Mikel and him in there.
Now Campbell trying to play the ball forward. Cut out well by Harry Suter at the back for Stoke. It remains 0-0. Norwich will keep possession. They'll go back into their own half with Gibson and Hanley. And now Stoke, who were keen to try and step up earlier on, they've gone back. And we've got players behind the ball. Here's McLean.
I think they're happy to leave Norwich on it and drop off, but when they do want it back in their own.
Mistake by Gibson there, really bad mistake. Clark has stolen it from him, comes running forward, and Skip showed a wonderful turn of pace to get in behind the Norwich defence there and cut off the route forward for Clark. That's where Norwich have got to be careful. 1 or 2 sloppy mistakes in this game. Little flicked header there from Buendia in the air, finding Max Aarons, who kicks the ball in front of him, knowing that he's got the pace to chase it down as well. Here comes Aarons, scampering forward on the right. He crosses into the penalty area. Vrancic with a looping header that is not going to trouble Angus Gunn. Easily taken by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and I just come back to Oliver Skip there, but sloppy touch from Ben Gibson, but Oliver Skip just reading the danger, cutting it out, and a great breakdown the right-hand side from Max Aarons. takes a massive touch out his feet, as you say, because nobody's going to catch him. And again, Chris puts another ball in the box, doesn't look to get to the byline. He's 25 yards from the byline, decides to deliver, and Mario Vrancic just gets the header all wrong.
There's definitely a difference about Norwich City today. It's not often this season that Daniel Farke has had a full week on the training pitch with his team and his squad. Maybe we're seeing the effects of that today. They're definitely approaching this one differently.
Yeah, it might well be that they've worked on something different. It's not very often that we do see Norwich get to these positions in the pitch and throw the ball in the box. They look to go across the box and maybe look for an opening, but it's certainly something that's evident today.
There's Collins, the right back for Stoke. Takes a tumble there and it goes out for a throw-in. Cantwell takes it down to Giannoulis, playing his third game for the Canaries today. 2 0-0 draws to show for his Norwich career so far. It's back with Gibson. Better touch from him this time. He feeds McLean in the midfield, and it's wide to the left wing. And Cantwell finds Skip on halfway. Skip will go back to Gibson. And Norwich will just to try and keep control of the game here on halfway with Skip. And we'll find Gibson. And Stoke have pressed up and forced Norwich to go back to Tim Krul, who he's had such a good season, Tim Krul. I know he was at fault for Swansea's opening goal the other night, but he's had a fine season as Krul, and he's got the ball back again now. Passes it out short to Gibson. Gibson on to Skip. Norwich playing their way out of a bit of danger there, but calmly done.
I think they were a lot more calm than I was watching it.
It's never comfortable to watch. Skip gets it up towards Pukki.
You see the belief and the confidence within them to take the ball in these tight areas and trust the goalkeeper going back across his 6-yard box, and really well played. And look what it's got.
It's got Norwich up the field with Cantwell, who takes it into the area, and now Vrancic sets it up for Cantwell to score.
Yeah!
That is a fine goal from Norwich City, and that all started with the goalkeeper Tim Krul playing the ball out. Norwich a flying move up the field. It was worked into the path of Todd Cantwell, who finishes superbly. Norwich's long wait for a goal is over. They've only needed a quarter of an hour to score against Stoke. Cantwell does it, and it's Norwich City 1, Stoke 0.
An incredible goal, absolutely unbelievable football. And it was Ben Gibson, you just see turn around there pointing to Tim Krul. All starts from him playing out, and for all of us talking about crosses into the box, it's one of these with the intricate play, great play from Cantwell, drive and run, and a little flick from Vrancic. He's done that before this season. Cantwell with left foot into Angus Gunn's bottom left-hand corner, and nothing more than Norwich deserve.
And that is the Todd Cantwell we were seeing in the Premier League last season. Some of the goals he was getting just like that. Such an emphatic finish. There's a big smile on his face, and no wonder. And it's one of those where you almost want to go back and watch that move again, because you want to count how many passes were involved in it. we didn't know to start counting when Tim Krul had the ball, but I mean, that is it, isn't it? One moment Norwich look as if they're dicing with it deep inside their own penalty area, and the next, well, when it works, it's so good to watch, and it worked then. And Krul this time launches one up the field.
Yeah, they've only just scored. As you know, Chris, you're always most vulnerable when you've just scored, and it's quite happy to get rid of it then. But the move started, it was on the left-hand side here, and Gibson goes back to him, Skip comes deep to get it, back into Krul, and it must have been a good 15 passes before they got into Stoke's attacking third and eventually get the goal. Amazing goal.
It really was. I think there was, just to spoil it slightly, I think there was a slight touch off a Stoke defender, so we can't say that Stoke didn't touch the ball as it came through to Cantwell. And then Vrancic with a lovely back heel back to Cantwell, who finished brilliantly, and that's what he can do, and he's done it brilliantly. And that will just do Norwich such a power of good.
Does that go to the dubious pass panel?
Buendia. Hanging the ball towards the left-hand side. Giannoulis can't keep it in play. It's a throw-in. And we saw it there, didn't we? I mean, it's what Norwich are capable of. Vrancic with a lovely little lay-off into the path of Cantwell, finished superbly. And if there were any worries about a lack of goals, to get one inside the first 15 minutes here, that will lift everybody.
And again, exactly what you're saying, Chris, about those little touches, nice combinations around about the penalty box. And when it comes off like that, it looks amazing. And they certainly deserve to be in front here, Norwich.
Norwich lead 1-0. Todd Cantwell. It's only his third goal of the season, but it was brilliantly taken. And now here's Buendia, 30 yards from goal. John Obi Mikel trying to keep him on a lead, but it's gone over towards the right-hand side, and it's going to be Max Aarons now, who will bring the ball back to Skip in the midfield, back to Hanley. Norwich trying to get everyone involved in this move as well, having had success with that way a moment ago. Skip goes back to his goalkeeper, and Krul has it 30 yards or so from goal.
Yeah, the goal almost seemed like everybody had to have a touch before they could score.
Again, hopefully we'll get a chance to watch it back at half-time and count the passes. McLean, high hanging ball towards the left-hand side. Collins wins the header from right back for Stoke, and out it goes for a Norwich throw. Norwich 1 up here. We've just seen a vintage Norwich goal. When it works, it's so impressive to watch. And Todd Cantwell finishing gleefully. There was a lot of frustration in that finish, it felt, from Cantwell.
Yeah, a fantastic finish on his left foot as well.
Krul, the Norwich goalkeeper, goes long this time. Header from Suter at the back for Stoke. It's come up towards Stephen Fletcher, who nods it into the path of Clark on the right-hand side. Yanulis gets back at him, just leans into him. No foul given. Yanulis getting used to the physical challenge of the Championship and now setting off up the field and playing a ball towards the penalty area and almost catching Angus Gunn off his line.
Yeah,
Gunn managed to backpedal and catch it.
You can see him putting his hand up to apologise. He just never quite got that right, but good defending. I've got to admit that I would be slightly disappointed if I didn't get a foul for the little shoulder barge.
Yes,
they give him there.
What I was surprised about, and we'll come back to that in a moment, the Stoke play a long diagonal ball up towards Fletcher. It's been headed down to Klukas, who fires one in from distance, not far wide. What I was surprised about when Clark went down, I mean, he is now complaining to the linesman, but there didn't seem to be much of a complaint from the Stoke players.
No,
not look a foul.
Not at all from the rest of them. But again, if Norwich never, I'd be disappointed if they didn't get a foul for that. He certainly leaned into him, but they're not complaining.
1-0 to Norwich City. Todd Cantwell breaking Norwich's wait for a goal. 389 minutes it was in the end. That's when we can stop the clock. Football without a goal for Norwich City. Yanulis heads the ball down to Vrancic. Forward to Cantwell, 10 yards or so inside his own half. I'm sure he'll be absolutely buzzing after that goal. It was such a crisp finish. This time he aimed the ball out towards the right wing. He picks up Aarons, 10 yards or so inside his own half. Collected by Skip. Forward to Cantwell again. And now Buendia knocking the ball back to Skip. And Norwich playing with a bit of confidence now. Yeah. They can go back to the top of the table today, with Brentford not playing until tomorrow.
You can just see the way they're knocking about. You talk about the confidence of Todd Cantwell, Buendia, that they're going whatever they like to get on the ball, it seems, at the minute, because they're playing with such confidence the way they've started this game.
Stoke wants another free kick there for a challenge by Hanley in the air on Fletcher, but I don't think that was a foul. And indeed, referee Jeremy Simpson agrees. And now it's played forward by Hanley, looking for Pukki, who's beaten in the air by Suter. This time, Pukki with a firm header towards the right-hand side. So we'll roll out a play for a throw-in, though. Fox, I think, had that under control. He was just daring Aarons to make an attempt to play it, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think Max Aarons, given the pace that he has, if he goes full tilt there, he gets there first. But a little bit tentative.
Lucas bangs one forward for Stoke, headed away by Hanley. Joe Allen nods it forward. Yanulis gets there. Referee spotted an infringement there and has given a free kick to Stoke this time, just inside the Norwich half. Norwich lead 1-0 at Carrow Road, if you are just joining us. No wins in the last 4, Norwich. Only 2 defeats in the last 13 in the league. And they haven't lost any of their last 13 home games, Norwich City. So here at Carrow Road, a few draws, but by and large, they've been getting the job done here this season. And they're in front in this one. Stoke free kick, just inside the Norwich half. Played short to Suter, who clips it towards the Norwich penalty area. Doesn't pick out a teammate, though. And it will be cleared away. Nick Powell did his best to leap for it, but it was over his head. Here's Klukas on halfway for Stoke. Not a good touch. And Buendia's stolen it and found Vrancic. And that's excellent play from Joe Allen, just shadowing Vrancic back there and getting the challenge in. And then Allen gets a free kick on halfway.
Good experience. Just reading the game and sniffing out the danger from Joe Allen there.
Yeah. 56 caps for Wales. Only made 8 appearances this season because of injury, Joe Allen, but well and truly up with the pace of the game there and preventing Vrancic from breaking. And Stoke have now switched it to Clark, who's on loan from Spurs on the right-hand side. He gathers the ball from Collins, and now it goes back towards the halfway line and Suter. Onto Mikel in the midfield. John Obi Mikel will play it up here towards Powell. That's a great challenge from Vrancic this time, and then Norwich played over the top, and Pukki could be in. Pukki just could not get goal side of the defender Chester, who seemed to play that back to Angus Gunn, who picked it up, but the referee says it was a tackle rather than a back pass.
Yeah, it looked more a tackle. It's so unlucky. It just wouldn't come down from him. Great challenge in the middle of the pitch from Vrancic, reaching his leg round to win the ball back, and the ball over the top just wouldn't come down for Pukki.
Very similar to the goal, one of the goals he got at Stoke earlier this season when Norwich won 3-2 in a thrilling game. They raced into a 3-0 lead, then lost Tim Krul to injury. They lost Emi Buendia sent off, and Stoke very nearly came back into it. So Norwich will know this game is far from won. We're a quarter of the way through it. It's Norwich 1, Stoke 0. And it's Todd Cantwell who's got amongst the goals as the ball is played back by Nick Powell to Gunn, who stands on the edge of his penalty area and plays it short to the defender Suter. Back it goes again to Gunn, who was not going to get a clean sheet on his Carrow Road return. He was given no chance at all by the finish from Todd Cantwell, and he's got it back again as Angus Gunn. And he's passed the ball out rather a little bit carelessly this time, and Vrancic might steal it for Norwich here. In fact, he does. He works it to Buendia on the right-hand side. Buendia's got 3 to aim for in the penalty area, but instead he puts his foot on it. Plays it back now to Aarons. Out to Buendia on the right. Buendia will aim the ball into the penalty area. Suter gets something on it, doesn't really cut it out. It's going to need Klukas to come back and clear the danger for his team. That's what he does. Up towards Fletcher, who's battling for it on halfway. Gibson has worked it back to Tim Krul. He's got Fletcher bearing down on him here as Krul. And he launches this one up the field at the earliest possible opportunity.
Good decision from Krul as well. Again, the ball just not settling right and taking no risk and putting his foot through it and clearing the danger.
Mikel finds Klukas on the right-hand side. Now Clark in field. Tackled by Skip. 2 young players, both on loan in the Championship from Spurs, and Skip won that battle. And now here's Buendia sailing over the halfway line and trying to release Pukki. Pukki can't quite get goal side of Harry Suter, and the ball's gone out for a throw-in.
Yeah, and again, all of us get similar to Joe Allen for Stoke, just reading the game so well, we're nicking it. And it's not often you see him continue that run. Again, we're talking about other players trying to chip in with goals, and Oliver Skip, as soon as they win that there, he takes off, and it's good defending from Harry Suter, because if Pukki gets away from him there, it's a square pass for a tap-in for Oliver Skip.
Harry Suter, player they got from Dundee United a few years ago, has really established himself this season in the heart of that Stoke defence. Skip finds Campbell halfway inside the Stoke half. He's got 4 players around him, so has to knock it to Gibson. And now it's back with Todd Campbell, who got the goal that broke the deadlock a few moments ago. Now it's Vrancic halfway inside the Stoke half. Vrancic has got Campbell available for a short pass, instead throws it forward to Buendia, wide to the left and Yanulis. Now Vrancic with a bit of space, and he slips on the ball there, does Vrancic, and he's then caught, but it was a 50-50 challenge. The referee's allowing play to go on. Yanulis does well to steal possession back for Norwich. Vrancic is still down. There was with no fans inside the ground, you can clearly make out the yelp from Vrancic as he hit the floor, and Norwich have given the ball away there. Maybe they'd have been better kicking it out so that Vrancic could get treatment, although he's up on his feet now.
Yeah, I think he's okay.
And here comes Stoke. They've got it up to Joe Allen. He's operating deep inside the Norwich half. He finds Klukas. Collins available on the overlap, the fullback. Here he is, right-hand side, level with the Norwich penalty area. Works it back to Klukas, who gives it to Collins again on this right-hand side for Stoke. Challenge from Yanulis. Wasn't a bad one, but he couldn't see the ball won back for Norwich, but it has at least forced Stoke to retreat back towards the halfway line.
A bit of an unorthodox challenge. He sat down and started reaching his leg around them. I've not seen that one before, but it was effective.
Did the job in the end.
Yeah.
And the ball is played forward by Norwich and through to Angus Gunn, who comes up, controls, and tries to build from the back again for Stoke. It's Collins on the right-hand side. Collins in field to John Obi Mikel. Back to Nathan Collins, who scored against Norwich earlier this season. In the game finished 3-2 to Norwich back in November. Here's Morgan Fox, the left back, playing it forward to Powell. High, aimed towards the Norwich penalty area. Fletcher is there. He's headed on to Clark, who works it back towards Fletcher with the header. He's offside. He heads it into the net, but the flag immediately goes up. But you know, Stephen Fletcher, a header from 6 yards, you don't want to give him too many opportunities like that.
No, not at all. And Norwich get slightly fortunate here. I think if we get the benefit of the replay, you see, there's no idea that Clark's behind them. He's tucked in Fletcher, but he is offside as the ball comes back in. But they've got away with one. I was just about to say, Chris, as well, Stoke they've not created anything, but they've had plenty of the ball the last 5 minutes or so. And as you say, Norwich will know that this game is far from won yet.
Krul playing the ball out to McLean. Up towards Campbell on halfway, and Campbell's got room to run into here. And now he uses Yanulis on the left-hand side. Played first time back to Campbell, slightly behind him, so he had to put the brakes on, but catches up with it now. Finds Vrancic. Now Yanulis on the left-hand side. Yanulis back to Vrancic. Here's Buendia, halfway inside the Stoke half. Buendia looking for Aarons on the right-hand side, and here he is, Aarons. He sets off towards the corner of the penalty area, perhaps. Fox dangles a leg. That just forces Aarons to just turn back. Plays it in field now to Buendia, 30 yards from goal. Buendia, he's going to hit one, and it's not quite dipping enough, just over the bar.
Yeah, you can forgive him from shooting from there. He's been excellent. Obviously, having missed the last game and desperate to come back in and be productive, and he just never got that quite right there on his left foot.
A decent effort that from Buendia, who scored 8 goals in the year that Norwich were promoted a couple of seasons ago. He's already got 7 this season. And that despite a couple of suspensions. So you would back him to certainly overtake the goals tally he got a couple of seasons ago.
And there's no doubt he is Norwich's most creative spark. He's so hard to pick up. He just goes wherever he he feels he can get the ball and make an impact, and he's such a danger.
Hanley's just been fouled. Free kick to Norwich City inside their own half. They lead 1-0. Todd Campbell's goal after 15 minutes. Brilliantly taken after a back heel from Vrancic. And it was a move that went the length of the pitch, right back from the goalkeeper Krul, to give Norwich a precious lead in this game. Here's Gibson. Plays it up towards McLean. Wide to the left and Yanulis. And now Gibson. On the edge of his own penalty area. Plays it back to Tim Krul. And Nick Powell goes to close him down. Krul this time flips it towards halfway. Dominant header won by Suter. McLean gets it back to Gibson. Forward to Vrancic. Vrancic has possession. Finds McLean. McLean puts that one into the channel on the left. Pukki trying to get his head down against Harry Suter here, putting him under pressure. Suter's trying to shield this behind for a goal kick and just about manages it.
Yeah, Suter does really well to shield it out, but great play from Kenny McLean. There's nothing wrong with that at times, as we're saying, to try and stretch Stoke. Yeah, we don't go on the end of it that occasion, but just to turn it behind them and get them facing their own goal. Good play from Kenny McLean.
Looking at Harry Suter, who I mentioned, signed from Dundee United. He's actually an Australian international.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and he's had 2 caps for Australia. He's scored 4 goals. But if I tell you those goals were against, 2 were against Chinese Taipei.
Another one against my village team.
That explains the goal scoring record he's got. And the other, and a couple against Nepal as well, I think. So he's played 2 caps for Australia and got 4 goals, which I thought, that's not bad for a defender. then you look at, sometimes you do have to look at the quality of position, don't you?
Certainly on that occasion, yeah.
1-0 Norwich lead against Stoke.
You would retire now, wouldn't you?
Although all goals count, Simon. Come on, you of all people should know that. You took back your goal scoring record earlier on. You would take it.
I think I would have struggled to score against the ball.
Campbell plays the ball forward. Stoke seem to have got this covered. Morgan's played it back to goalkeeper Gunn. Pukki and Aaron's both charging him down, but Gunn has got the kick away. It's controlled well by Hanley on halfway. And he goes back to his goalkeeper, Tim Krul. Feels like Tim Krul has touched the ball almost as much as anyone in the Norwich team today. But he's done well. He's used the ball well today. He was at the start of the move where Norwich scored from. But Hanley's been caught out here, and Stoke are in on the left-hand side. It's played back towards the edge of the penalty area. Important tackle from McLean, just covering on the edge of the penalty area, and Norwich scramble away. Another reminder that this game is far from won at 1-0.
Yeah, just the mistake from Hanley, passes it straight to the Stoke midfielder. I couldn't quite see who it was, but great tackle from Ken McLean on the edge of the box. Again, talk about players seeing things, just sniffing out danger.
Great tackle from Buendia there, allowing Vrancic to pick up possession on halfway. He's released Pukki. Pukki's 25 yards from goal. He's found Campbell on the edge of the penalty area. Back to Buendia now. On the edge of the box, he's got Aaron's on the overlap. He drives the cross, and it's cleared away by James Chester, experienced defender. And then good play there from one of the Stoke players coming back to help out, but not particularly clearing it very well. And Norwich have won possession back on halfway. McLean sets off over the halfway line. Plays it short to Vrancic, who's been closed down by 2 Stoke players. He's just about managed to get it through to Yanulis on this left-hand side. Yanulis turns well away from the full-back Collins. He accelerates into the penalty area, Yanulis. Now puts the brakes on and passes it back to the edge of the box, and Vrancic. Vrancic beats one challenge. Now tries to get the ball into the box. It's charged down. Should be an easy clearance here for Mikel, and is. Norwich get there. Gibson's looping header back forwards. Is it going to fall for Vrancic? No, it's gone behind, and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, and you can forgive Yanulis for turning out there because he has put some quality balls into the box, but that was one occasion where he should have just fired across the box, and you get runners getting in, you get Pukki getting in, you've got Buendia coming at the back post, and he turns out and it eventually fizzles out.
The ball played short by Angus Gunn. Little 1-2 with Harry Suter, and now an opportunity for Stoke with Chester, and then Fox on the left hand side to bring it forward. Hanley again, just letting that one bounce past him, and Fletcher very nearly capitalised, but Hanley recovered well and managed to get the ball back to Tim Krul, who clears. John Obi Mikel's header on halfway. Ball's hit the referee there, and actually I didn't think he had to stop the play there because it went back to Stoke.
He didn't pass from the ref back.
He's got 1-2, but he has stopped the play, and it will be a drop ball, uncontested, and Stoke will play the ball short to Klukas, who gets it back again on halfway. Klukas plays the ball back to Suter. Harry Suter, big defender, plays the ball through the midfield, back towards the right-hand side, and Collins. That's a good challenge, that from Yanulis. Managed to get the ball up here, eventually to Vrancic, and now Vrancic has released Pukki, who's onside in the channel, on the left. Pukki, level with the edge of the penalty area, brings it into the box now, tries to squeeze it across. It's taken a couple of deflections, and Angus Gunn is going to gather it. Pukki was a little bit isolated there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly was. You don't have him in the box, and maybe Buendia or Cantwell in the position he was, but again, just shows you how he's a willing runner to make the runs into channels and pull centre backs all over the place. But as you wouldn't put in the box.
Just seen a clumsy challenge by Kenny McLean. I think he just lost his footing as he went in to try and win the ball, and that's led to the foul. And it's Nick Powell who's gone down. Powell, who's had his own injury problems this season, but has got 7 goals, including 2 in his last 3. Same for Fletcher, 2 in his last 3. So potential and goals in this Stoke team. They've had a couple of good opportunities, but it's Norwich who lead 1-0 with 12 minutes to go until half-time. Todd Cantwell, the goal scorer, really, really well taken goal after a move that went the length of the pitch. It's been a long wait to see Norwich score a goal, but they've done it today.
And I think the chance that Obi Mikel had in the first couple of minutes from the corner was maybe a wake-up call for Norwich, and they certainly risen to that.
Collins on the right-hand side for Stoke, playing it up towards Allen, and now Clark has made a good run in behind Yanulis here. Yanulis recovers, gets the challenge in, but Clark still tees up Allen, who crosses into the penalty area. Fletcher's up, Norwich have half cleared. Fox gets the shot in. What a block that is from Buendia. It's Morgan Fox, the fullback, who was arriving in the penalty area, full-blooded volley, but straight into the back of Buendia, who did his bit defensively there.
Yeah, as he always does, and as you say, it's a great little lifted ball into the box. It's helped on by one of the Stoke players to towards the back post, but Buendia is so quick to sense the danger, get out and get his block in.
Here's Mikel. Vrancic tries to close him down, but Mikel has got the pass back towards the halfway line, and Harry Suter, Stoke centre-back, space for him to run into, and then he tries to clip the ball straight up the field. Norwich have intercepted it, got it up to Pukki, and now Vrancic just drops one forward for Cantwell to chase. Bouncing awkwardly, across comes James Chester and deals with it. Very experienced, scored in an FA Cup final for Hull a few years ago, James Chester. And the ball is now with John Obi Mikel in the midfield. 11 years with Chelsea. Forward he comes. Now Powell. Powell aims the ball towards the right-hand side, and here's Collins. Left wrist bandaged, and Collins releases Clark, who's onside here, on the right wing, level with the Norwich penalty area. Clark with a chance to weigh up his options, delivers the cross. I think it was Skip in there at the near post to turn it behind for the corner.
Yeah, great block. Is it Skip or
Ben Gibson? I think Gibson was actually, yeah.
But again, stopping that ball at the front post. But I'm not sure if it was, it's went to press Collins rather than just staying with Clark in the wide area. He slid him in. But good defending from Ben Gibson to read the danger there.
Well, certainly Yanulis' side of the pitch, wasn't it, where that threat was coming from. What are we going to see this time then? We've got a corner to Stoke from the right-hand side. Klukas plays it in with the left foot, headed away by Aarons. It might be another corner, it is. And we've seen Stoke come very close to scoring from a corner in this game already. That one from John Obi Mikel in the opening few minutes. And now Klukas is getting ready with another corner. He's got 2 balls to choose from here, because just as he was lining up the corner, another one's appeared on the pitch. He's going to go with that one instead. Chance for Norwich City to get everybody back in the penalty area to try and deal with this set piece. Norwich lead 1-0. 9 minutes to go until half-time. Sam Klukas with this corner for Stoke from the right-hand side. Played in, headed away from the near post very well by Buendia. He then goes down inside his own penalty area. No foul is given, and Stoke will get the throw in instead on the right-hand side. Taken by Klukas, looking for the run of Powell, who has fouled his man, McLean. Yeah, good. Norwich get a free kick.
Good experience from McLean. He knows any contact there from Powell, and the referee will give the foul. But Stoke will be disappointed with that. 2 corners in quick succession, and both of them hitting the first man, so they'll be certainly disappointed with that.
Yeah, Aarons and Buendia are able to comfortably head the 2 corners.
The smallest men on the pitch as well.
Yeah, that just goes to show. And when you look at the physical presence Stoke have got, that's going to be an option for them in this game, isn't it? Set pieces, if they can get them right. Aarons plays one long towards Pukki, and Pukki's done well just to get the header past Chester there, and then Pukki is caught in the face. The referee is going to allow play to continue. He's not given a foul. Now he stops it because, of course, referees have to when it's a head injury. But it was James Chester. I don't think anything malicious in that, but he just caught Pukki.
No, not at all. And Pukki's been brave. Pukki's quicker than him. He's got the ball before him. I don't think there's too much in it. He's setting up and he's back on his feet now.
Yeah, it wasn't a free kick, but James Chester, a player who scored against Norwich City in his Aston Villa days here at Carrow Road a couple of seasons ago. He's not going to be penalised there, and the referee's going to have another drop ball with Angus Gunn, who now gathers. 25 years old now, Angus Gunn, on loan from Southampton. He lost the number 1 position last season after that 9-0 against Leicester. Long ball forward there from Stoke, and it's got Fletcher into the penalty area. Tries to play it across, but Gibson's got the challenge in. And in fact, it's going to be a goal kick. I didn't know if that had taken a flick off Gibson. Goal kick it is.
Yeah, Fletcher on his weaker right foot just doesn't get the cross right. But again, just one long ball from Suter. Gibson just gets caught underneath it, and it lets Fletcher in, and thankfully he doesn't get his delivery right.
Yeah, he's Fletcher's one Norwich have got to watch though.
He certainly is. He works tirelessly. He's got that physical presence as well, and he's a good finisher. So Norwich need to be very wary of him.
6 goals this season for Stephen Fletcher. Header away from Suter, firm header into the Norwich half. It's Skip who brings it down, and then it's Vrancic who, in a tight position, manages to find Aarons on the right-hand side. 1-0 to Norwich City on BBC Radio Norfolk. Todd Cantwell's goal, the difference between these two sides. Here's Skip, deep inside his own half. Plays the ball to Hanley, and now out towards the right, and Aarons, driven forward. Lovely touch from Cantwell to Buendia, who's now released Cantwell. Has he on the right-hand side? No, Suter's across, and he's put the ball out for a throw, and it just wouldn't quite run.
Very unlucky. You can see Ken McLean applauding the play there. Lovely set from Cantwell back to Buendia. And he's just unfortunate the execution of the pass back to him into that right-hand channel. Really unlucky.
Here's Grant Hanley, the Norwich captain, inside his own half. Back he goes to Krul. And Krul with the left foot kicks it long and high. Chester should have dealt with that, should have headed away, but he's actually ended up behind him, and Pukki's able to make a nuisance for himself. And it's ended up being back with Ben Gibson on halfway for Norwich City. He shifts the play forward to Buendia. Buendia brilliantly turn of pace, gets away from Powell, and now crosses into the penalty area. Pukki chests it down, tries to work it back for Cantwell, who's under pressure from John Obi Mikel, but he's managed to get it back here to McLean, who shoots. It's gone wide by a deflection. Norwich will get a corner.
Great play again from Pukki, just trying to get the ball down, and he knows he can't get his shot away, but he's looking for round runners, and it's just behind Cantwell. Lovely ball from Buendia into Pukki in the first place, and as you see in the replay there, he's just trying to find Cantwell on his shoulder, and it's just too far behind them.
Well, we'll always judge strikers on goals, won't we, in their goals return, and you can't really find fault with Teemu Pukki for that over his Norwich career, but there's so much more to his game, as you've said. Corner for Norwich, comes in from the right-hand side. It's not a good one. It's easily headed away. The corners in this game so far have been not of the best quality from either side. Now, the ball has somehow worked forward from Stoke, and it stayed in play. It bounced right along the touchline, and Nick Powell's raced onto it, and then Aarons drags him back, and that will be a free kick to Stoke on halfway. It was a curious clearance that everyone expected was going to be a throw-in. Daniel Farker's furious about something, a foot up, I think, over on that far side. Everyone had given that up, I think, as a throw-in. Yeah, it spun back into play.
From here, Chris, it looked as if he sliced it with his left foot and bounced it off the pitch, but we're a long way away, obviously, the linesman or the assistant referee, so he's got a better view than us.
And it's all ended up with a Stoke free kick, much to Daniel Farker's frustration, just inside the Norwich half. It's 1-0 to Norwich. Fox slips as he aims that free kick forward, headed into the penalty area by Collins towards Fletcher, who's got it hit towards the right edge of the area. Tees up Collins for a dangerous cross into the penalty area. Powell just too high for him, got a flick on it, but couldn't divert it goalwards. And Norwich with Max Aarons will bring it away on the right-hand side to Buendia. Turns inside to Skip, who's caught there, Skip, as he played the ball back. Norwich under real pressure there, that they were in the right-back position. Didn't look fully in control of the ball, but still trying to play those passes out.
Yeah, and you've got to admire, and again, that will never change. That, Max Aarons has a chance to just feed the ball down the line, but instead they just pop one into Buendia, back inside towards Oliver Skip, who draws a foul. And
yellow card showed to is it Nick Powell, I think, he's been booked there.
Yeah.
Obviously had something to say, because it's clearly a long time after the decision had been made, and Norwich were actually about to take the free kick, and then the referee Simpson just flashing a yellow card in Nick Powell's direction. Not quite sure what his problem is there. It looked a fairly straightforward decision.
It must have been something he said.
Yeah. And the ball is back with Krul, who under pressure has kicked it out towards Yanulis on the left-hand side. It's eventually back with Yanulis and onto Cantwell now on the left. Cantwell plays it forward, but Chester has cut it out. And Stoke have possession back with Klukas on halfway. Back it goes to Suter, and now Klukas 10 yards inside his own half. It comes to Collins on the right-hand side. Header away from Gibson. Hanley slightly slips, and Stoke could be in behind Norwich here. No, Ben Gibson's there, and Ben Gibson will bring the ball towards the left-back position, and we'll find Yanulis back to Gibson, and Gibson hammers the ball towards the halfway line. Norwich still 1-0 up. Stoke looking to try and just occupy the Norwich half at the moment.
Yeah.
Good challenge there between Mikel and Vrancic. It's the Stoke player who's won it. Clever back heel then from Fletcher, but he can't find a teammate. And Norwich have a chance to break with Buendia. There's John Obi Mikel with a foul and a yellow card for John Obi Mikel. And I wonder how many times he's got bookings like that.
Sure, all these years of experience there just to stop Buendia firmly in his tracks as Norwich look to break. But just on a couple of occasions, Chris, you'll notice at times he's going to press Collins in the right back area. He cannot go there and just leave Clark. A couple of times he's had to recover, which he's done well, but he cannot go and press the right back and leave the wide right player just for him to slide the ball into him there. Just to be careful.
Looking for Yanulis, who has got forward at every opportunity in this game. Now it comes to McLean. McLean will get carefully out towards the left-hand side, looking to find Yanulis, Norwich's most recent signing, wins a throw-in. And he will throw it back here towards McLean. Well, instead he's gone forward to Campbell. Wasn't a great ball back from Campbell. Yanulis was standing off the field, having taken the throw-in, so clearly when he touched the ball, it was out of play. Throw-in.
He needs to work on his throat control. It wasn't the best ball back to him from Todd.
You talk about him getting outnumbered at times on this side. Does he need more help from, Todd Campbell?
The occasion that just happened there, Chris, that he's going to press Collins and leaving Clark free on the touchline, and Ben Gibson's then and Cotton. Two minds dug out towards wide man.
Now Buendia has closed down a clearance from Fox, and it's bouncing for him now. Buendia in the penalty area, across to Pukki. Yes! Yeah! For Pukki. He doesn't miss those. A couple of yards out, a tap in, and that was all down to the industry of Emi Buendia. Morgan Fox went to clear the ball away. Buendia charged it down, and then had the presence of mind to control the ball and lay it across for Pukki, who almost did walk it into the net. Norwich have been accused of trying to walk the ball into the net in recent weeks. They've just done it there in the final minute of the first half. It's Norwich City 2, Stoke 0, and Teemu Pukki's back among the goals.
Absolutely delighted for Teemu Pukki. The work rate that we spoke about in the game, the unselfish runs that he makes, but that was all about Emi Buendia. His desire to go and win the ball back, pressing Fox straight off him, and the ball just doesn't quite sit that nice for Buendia, but does so well to control the pass across the face of goal. And Teemu Pukki's never going to miss that. He'll be absolutely delighted with that.
Well, you remember as a Norwich fan how you felt when Norwich conceded just before half-time against Swansea last Friday. That's exactly how Michael O'Neill will be feeling now, because that's a poor goal to give away from Stoke's point of view. It's a fairly comfortable clearance that Morgan Fox has just hit straight at Buendia. He's charged it down. And, if you've got two Norwich players in the penalty area, one's Buendia and one's Pukki, in that sort of situation, the result is inevitable.
Yeah, exactly that. And as you say, Michael, will be so disappointed. I'm sure the Stoke players will be well aware of Norwich, that they'll press them like Buendia, they'll go and press them like Pukki. And now, it's a cost them.
The ball's been knocked out to the right wing, and Pukki's onside, and he catches up with the ball here. Pukki from the right-hand side, plays it back to Buendia, into Vrancic, whose first touch wasn't great, but he's still going to keep the ball in play with the back heel, and it's cleared away by Morgan Fox, this time firmly, for a throw-in. Norwich 2 up against Stoke City at Carrow Road. They scored 3 against them earlier this season. They certainly seem to have the measure of scoring goals against Stoke this season.
And they certainly deserved it this afternoon, Chris. The performance, we said that the first minute, when Obi Mikel's had the chance in the corner, Norwich just dominated for the next 10-15 minutes of the game. And again, we go back to all the crosses that they threw in the box. That gave them the opportunity to play now, I think.
Here's Gibson for Norwich, who are now 2-0 up, and we'll go in at half-time 2-0 up. Well, we wondered about Norwich's goal-scoring prowess. We talked about attacking players coming to the fore, and they certainly have for Norwich today. It's 2 of their attackers who've got the goals. Todd Campbell, after 15 minutes, with a really well-taken goal after a move that went the length of the pitch. It started with Tim Krul passing the ball out from inside his own penalty area. Norwich worked the ball up the pitch expertly, and it was absolutely crashed home by Todd Campbell for 1-0. Stoke, by then, had had a good chance to score through John Obi Mikel, and with their industry, they asked a few questions of Norwich in that half, but you felt that Norwich always had more opportunities. Nick Powell has got to be careful here, actually. I'll just break off, because Nick Powell got a yellow card for arguing with the referee towards the end of that first half, and all the players have gone down the tunnel except for John Obi Mikel and Nick Powell. And Powell is still there in the face of the referee. Now, he's already been booked for dissent. He's now being led away by his captain, John Obi Mikel. But if Nick Powell is going to carry this on, he's not going to be able to come out for the second half. I know the whistle's gone, and he's still having a go as he's being led away.
The referee's not going to change his mind now. It's just ridiculous from Phil to the question. Get into the dressing room, you're 2-0 down, and instead of arguing with the referee. But brilliant first half performance from Norwich. Thoroughly deserved the 2-0 lead. 2 goals that you'd associate with Norwich this season, especially looking to play from one end of the field to the other. The other one comes from one of the strikers, Buendia going and pressing. That work rate they have and get a goal from that, but certainly deserve their 2-0 lead.
And the second one, it turns out you can walk the ball into the net as well if you're Teemu Pukki. Buendia, great industry, charging down a clearance from Morgan Fox and turning the ball across to Pukki, who's only a couple of yards out, and knocked it in. So Norwich are back among the goals. They're 2-0 up here against Stoke. They're on top. The Canaries heading as it stands to go back to the top of the Championship. Campbell and Pukki and Buendia, the front three, all playing a part in the goals and showing just the quality that Norwich have got in the final third. Half-time at Carrow Road, it's Norwich City 2, Stoke City 0.
Excellent news. Thank you very much, Chris Gorham and Simon Lappin. Second half commentary to come here on BBC Radio Norfolk. And we don't have to talk about the dry spell as far as the goals are concerned for Norwich City and Teemu Pukki. Both the team and, of course, the striker are back in amongst the goals. Second half to come, maybe even some more. You'll remember in the game earlier in the season, I think Norwich were 3-0 up in that game, and Stoke made it a much more interesting game. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but Norwich City do go back to the top of the Championship, which is exactly what would happen if they hang on to their win. Brentford play tomorrow. Swansea's game has been called off because of a frozen pitch. Let's have a look and see what else is happening in the Championship in a minute. But first in the Premier League, because there was a bit of a shock, although Liverpool also going through a real sticky patch themselves. It finished in the early kickoff. Leicester 3, Liverpool 1.
Now it's with Alexander-Arnold again, crosses it in, and it might be a shot. Left-footed Salah, goal. No. Mo Salah scored for Liverpool, and they take the lead in the 67th minute here. It's a neat finish with his left foot into the bottom corner, but it comes from Leicester City failing to clear their lines. Leicester 0, Liverpool 1. Free kick, Maddison left-footed. It's gone in! The offside flag stays down, it's gone in! Leicester City have got an equaliser. Is VAR going to try and rule that one out? The flag's gone up.
How's he putting it up now?
The flag has gone up. Incredible. The ball's gone straight in from James Maddison's free kick. VAR is going to have to check this again. That says onside.
Go on. Give it.
He's going to get a goal. It's a goal. He's given a goal. Leicester City are back in it. Unbelievable scenes. The goal counts. VAR didn't give it. The linesman took it away. The referee took it away, and VAR has just given it. A bit of love from the game on Valentine's weekend. It's all square with a lot to play for. 10 to go. Leicester 1, Liverpool 1.
Switch.
Finds Tielemans. The switch is on to Barnes. Can Tielemans find him? Barnes has got to be brave because Alisson comes out. Alisson's missed it. Vardy's in. He's going to score. Vardy! He's done it. How's your title, George Jurgen? Jamie Vardy for Leicester City has scored what could be a winner for the Foxes. What a 5 minutes we've seen. Leicester 2, Liverpool 1. Perez now in Didi in the opposition half. Finds Barnes get it out of your feet. Harvey Barnes is in the box. Finish the game. Finish it out. Harvey Barnes has done it. Game over. Title over. 3 goals, 3 points. The Foxes are rampant. Jurgen Klopp. Good night, Liverpool finished. Leicester 3, Liverpool 1.
And if you didn't get that from the commentator, Leicester City won that game by 3 goals to 1. Elsewhere at half-time, it's Palace 0, Burnley 2, and 2 more games to come later on in the Premier League. Manchester City against Spurs is at 5:30, and at 8 o'clock kickoff is Brighton against Aston Villa. In the Championship, let's go down to the half-time scores there. Where I can tell you, well, the early game finished goalless between Forest and Bournemouth. It's Birmingham 0, Luton 1. Cardiff are 2-0 up against Coventry. Derby County lead Middlesbrough by 2 goals to 1. It's Huddersfield 2, Wickham 0. Reading have got a 1-0 lead against Millwall.
And the goalkeeper's off the time, and it's an amazing goal for Reading. Semino, he's 45, maybe 50 yards out. It rolled to him, first time right-footed. He's curled it at no great pace and at no great height past the embarrassed Balkowski. What an extraordinary goal, and what a brilliant finish. And Reading have the lead after 17 minutes. It's Reading 1, Millwall 0.
Yeah, goal from 40 yards, apparently, that one. And Watford are 4-0 up at the break against Bristol City. Here's one of them.
Feminier's away down the right-hand side. Moore with him. Still Feminier. Clicks it forward to Saar. That's a lovely ball. Saar inside the box. Pulls it back across, and it's sucked in for a second goal by Ken Semmer. And Watford are running riot here at Vicarage Road. It's Myla Saar in behind. Lovely combination with Feminier. Saar pulled it back across. There were yellow shirts waiting. One of them was Ken Semmer, and he's driven it in.
There you go. As far as the half-times are concerned, let's look at the Six Nations Championship. If you're recording this game, don't want to know the score, put your fingers in your ears for a few seconds because, well, it started badly for England. It's much better now. England currently 34-11 against Italy. but actually started pretty badly.
Italy getting quick ball here. Garbisi gets it out to Trula, now into the corner, and it's a try for Italy. And it is Montigliani who goes over in the corner, and Italy are celebrating, and England are shell-shocked. We have the first score inside the first 2.5 minutes, and it's gone to Italy. They lead by 5 points to 0.
Yeah, Italy, of course, lost their last 28 Six Nations matches, so it was a bit of a surprise when they went in front against England, and Norfolk's Ben Young's starting in that one. But I'm glad to say that things have changed back around. England 34-11 up. Right, what about the cricket from earlier on? Second test in India. Well, it was good news. Norfolk fast bowler Ollie Stone not only got the start, but also impressed in his return to the England side in the second test. He finished day one in Chennai with figures of 1 for 41, including 5 maidens, and the best economy out of all of England's bowling attack. But it was a tough day in the field for the rest of England's players. India were 300 for 6 at the close, thanks to Rohit Sharma's 161. The tourists face a pretty tough ask when they come out to bat on a wicket, offering plenty of assistance to spinners. Jack Leach made full use of the pitch with 2 wickets of his own, and he spoke to Simon Mann at the end of day one.
Yeah, I felt like I bowled well today. I think I'll reflect a little bit this evening, but I feel like I tried to be as patient as I could, and I definitely the best rhythm I've had out there, since we started playing in 3 games. So yeah, this is definitely the best I've felt, and yeah, it's all sort of based around being patient and letting the pitch do what it was doing, and hope that you made some inroads that way. So yeah, that was my plan. Yeah, no, it's a hard fought day. I think we had to be quite patient, and we got a couple of wickets towards the end, which is obviously good. And with that new ball, hopefully tomorrow morning we can get a couple quickly and get back.
What do you feel about the state of the game, though, with the ball doing as much as it's done on the first day?
Yeah, I think there's definitely challenging balls on that wicket. I think, as you saw with Rohit Sharma and Rahane, that once you get a partnership going, and that with that older ball, it can get a little bit easier. So we have to certainly believe that we can do the same when we come to bat.
It's a first day surface. It was a first day surface. Does it feel like a third day pitch or a fourth day pitch?
Well, it's my second game in India, so compared to the first wicket we played on, I'd say yes. I mean, the first wicket didn't spin really for the first couple of days, so yeah, probably is. It's probably a little bit drier, and it's obviously spinning. Yeah.
What did you feel about Rohit's innings? I mean, obviously you wanted to get rid of him, but I mean, can you sort of say how you felt he played today?
Yeah, he played a serious knock. He's obviously a world-class player, and to see how he went about it was pretty well. I didn't enjoy it, but he obviously batted well, and obviously helped to a decent score at the moment.
Seeing the way he played, do you think that England will have to change their batting approach when it's their turn? The feeling there might just be a ball with your name on it somewhere on the line.
I think we've shown over the last 3 games that we've been able to adapt quite well. I think even back in Sri Lanka, we were playing on some spinning wickets, and I think the lads have adapted really well to different surfaces. So I have full belief that we can do that here as well.
Yeah, Jack Leach speaking after day one, and we're really pleased to see Ollie Stone getting a go in the team and getting a wicket inside his first over, I think, Rob.
Yeah, it was.
He was steaming in today, but it wasn't just the pace he was bowling with, it was the accuracy that really impressed. There you go, plenty more on Ollie Stone throughout this test, and hopefully in the future we will, of course, be speaking to him in and around the test matches. Great lad. Anyway, back to matters here at Carrow Road. He's a big Norwich City fan. No doubt he's in India somewhere, Rob, trying to keep across the score, and he'll be really pleased when he tunes in to find out Norwich 2-0 up at the break.
It's been a good performance from Norwich. If Emi Buendia and Todd Cantwell are firing, we are unbeatable, I think. It's pretty much the best team in the Championship you're looking at there. And, we've been saying it the last few weeks, all Norwich are wobbling, or we've had a speed bump, as Simon Lappin quite rightly said. But you're just waiting for Norwich to start kicking on again. You're just waiting for Buendia to come back from that suspension. And you're just waiting for Todd Cantwell to show why he is the player, along with Buendia, that everyone's looking at, and Max Aarons, as the big 3 Norwich players that Premier League teams want, that Premier League teams are going to be looking at in the summer. Toddy's shown what he can do today. For me, he's been the best player on the pitch. I think Buendia is a close second. I think Teemu Pukki is a close third. You know, they have our best three players have looked like our best three players. You know, and that's what Norwich need to do. Stoke are a good side. You know, got some good players in that team. You know, but Stephen Fletcher, good old campaigner up front. But Norwich have looked in control. You know, they've had a few iffy moments, probably created by their own mistakes at the back there, just by being a little bit too careful with the passing around at the back. But Norwich are deservedly 2-0 up, and this is what they can do.
First 10 minutes, Norwich were absolutely all over them, and we were saying to ourselves or to each other that they've got to score soon, because otherwise, that's where things come back to haunt you. And when they were playing out from the back, you mentioned a few sloppy passes at the back. We were saying, I don't like this. We know that's the way Norwich play, but there was a few oohs and ahs where there was a ball that only just got past their man. And 30 seconds later, the ball's in the back of the net. That's what you get with Norwich,
Exactly.
isn't it?
And you know, some would say it's a bit iffy, the playing it around at the back. But if you keep the ball and you do get out of the problem and you do end up scoring at the other end, well, there you go. Point proven. Daniel Farker's right. What do we know? So, you know, that's the important thing. And lots of people getting in touch on Twitter, #Canarical. John says, we look decent today. Only concern is the new left back out of position a lot. Yeah, I've been watching Yanulis closely, Phil. And this has been by far his best game so far. The tackling, there was one where he kind of didn't stay on his feet, but actually, as Phil and as Chris and Simon said on commentary, you know, he did win the ball, to be fair. But yeah, stay on your feet, Yanulis. You've got to learn that. But yeah, I think he's been all right today, to be fair. Callum says great first half, and Yanulis is beginning to show his worth in the team. Still a long way to go before I'm convinced we'll finish in the top two, though. There is still a good amount we have to work on. Kyle says, aside from the obvious, Yanulis looked much better going forward. Showed some nice craft to find space. And Jack says, looks like that full week of training has done us good. Lucky we got knocked out of the cup. Laughing face. Yeah, he knows that winds me up. In Farker we trust. Yeah, absolutely. And Dave says, but can Stoke do it on a cold, frosty afternoon in Norwich? Well, we'll find out in the second half. But all joking aside, you know, I think we do need to not think this game is over. You know, Chris kept saying it on the commentary. There's so much more work to be done. But as I keep saying, if Cantwell and Buendia fire for Norwich, then there's no team that can beat them in this league. I truly believe that. I think they've been brilliant today, and long may it continue.
All right, thanks for now, Rob Butler. He'll be back with Canary Court later on. It's been a bit like the Norwich City of old, actually, Chris Gorham, because there's been a few slips and near misses at the back as far as Norwich City are concerned, but they have been getting their chances and scoring them up front. So I think Norwich will be really happy. 2-0 up at the break. Players are all out for the second half. Here's Simon Lappin and Chris Gorham.
Yeah, I think it points to what we were saying before the game, that Norwich have got the attacking talent up down. Buendia's back, and of course he's made a difference, but the goals have come from Todd Cantwell and Teemu Pukki, who've both been there in the last few games. They've both been involved. They just haven't perhaps been firing on all cylinders, but and the reason that perhaps sometimes we are maybe not overcritical, but we expect a lot of players like Cantwell and Pukki is because we've seen they can do it. We judge them by the standards that they themselves have set.
Yeah, they almost become victims of their own success a little bit, when, as you said, at the expectancy level that they create. But they've certainly delivered today, and we spoke about it at the top of the show about that confidence. You can see them, everybody playing. They've got, even before we scored, everybody want the ball, as we know they will. They want to play. But the goals, certainly, you can see them growing in stature again.
A change by Stoke at half-time. I'm just noticing they've taken off Jack Clark, the right winger, who did cause Yanulis a few issues in that first half. Whether that's an injury or not remains to be seen. And on has come Rabbi Matondo, who's a young Welsh international who they've got on loan from Schalke. So he has come on. Rabbi Matondo will play on the right-hand side. It looks a straight swap. Well, we are back underway. I'll remind you of the lineups in a moment. Nick Powell has appeared for the second half for Stoke, which might be one to watch. He's on a yellow card and left the pitch at half-time arguing with the referee. So we'll see what happens there. Norwich are 2-0 up. And Gibson, as they attack the Barclay end, and they're yellow and green, going from left to right as we look at it, clears the ball upfield. Hanley wins the header. Stoke in the red and white striped shirts, white shorts, white socks, trying to come through with Powell, who's 25 yards from goal here. Powell plays it into the penalty area. Yanulis immediately under pressure from Matondo, and he's cleared it away for a Stoke throw-in.
Yeah, good defending from Yanulis. He got himself in the right position that the ball can't get played inside him, and quite happy to concede a throw-in.
Throw-in to Stoke, level with the Norwich penalty area, which the fullback Collins has come forward to take. Throws it down towards Allen, back out to Collins on the right-hand side. Nice turn for him there, actually, against Cantwell. Tries to get the ball across. He's still bulldozing into the penalty area. Here's Collins. Was he caught? They want a penalty there, Stoke. It's not going to be given. Neither linesman who's in a good position or referee are interested. But Collins did ride a few challenges in the penalty area there.
He bulldozed his way through, as you say, Chris, between Cantwell and, was it Yanulis? But No, it's not a
It
penalty.
didn't look it at the time, but
It's a hopeful claim for it, but
once you see a player go down and everyone's screaming at the
Yeah.
referee, you do wonder, don't you? But it's Stoke they're 2-0 down, so of course they've come out on the front foot. Collins crosses the ball in this time from the right. Gibson clears straight against his teammate and has to clear for a second time under pressure from Powell. Stoke throw in over on the far side, they're right.
yeah, and Gibson's unlucky there. He gets great contact in the ball. It's just because Skip's so close to him, it rebounds off him.
Throw in, taken towards the edge of the penalty area. Yanulis gets the better of Allen, and Vrancic sweeps it upfield, and Pukki sets off after it, and he's putting James Chester under pressure. Chester does well to clear, and Norwich will get a throw in this time. So Norwich have Krul in goal, Aarons, Hanley, Gibson, and Yanulis at the back. Skip, McLean, and Vrancic in midfield. It's Vrancic in the number 10 position. Buendia and Campbell playing up or behind Pukki. Give you the Stoke team in a moment. Here's Tim Krul, lifting the ball nicely towards Aarons on the right-hand side. Aarons closed down quickly, so plays it back to his skipper Grant Hanley. Hanley forward to Skip. Norwich playing deep inside their own half until Aarons puts his foot through it. Big booming clearance. Stoke win it with McKell, and it's headed away by Skip. Awkward bounce there, won by Yanulis, and it's Campbell inside his own half who gets it back to Yanulis. Played forward by the Greek defender, cut out by Suter. McLean with a nice cushioned pass to Vrancic, who tries to release Pukki, but it was a good header away again from Suter. And Campbell in the thick of the action. It's Collins who's got it for Stoke, looking for Matondo, the substitute. Yanulis wins that battle and tries to play the ball forward to Campbell. And back it comes to Gibson. And the Norwich defender Gibson clears it forward and wins a throw in. Stoke have Gunn in goal, Collins, Suter, Chester and Fox at the back. There's McKell, Allen and Klukas in midfield. They've got Powell on the left, Matondo on the right now, and Stephen Fletcher up front. And Stoke have only lost 2 away games in the Championship this season. That's how well Norwich are doing to be 2-0 up against them. And those 2 defeats at Swansea and Watford.
Yeah, and I think because you look at the record and where they won 9 and drawn 12 games this season, you think, you do fancy Norwich, but they're certainly not to be underestimated. And as we said at the end of the first half, this game isn't done yet.
No, far from it. And especially the way Stoke have come out at the start of this second half. They try to put Norwich under pressure.
Yeah, there's always going to be a reaction from them, as you'd expect. They're 2-0 down. They have to take the shackles off a little bit.
And the ball is back with Chester on halfway, looking for Morgan Fox on the left-hand side. Fox, who was caught out by Buendia for Norwich's second goal, plays the ball back to James Chester, and Chester sweeps it back to Angus Gunn, who's playing back at Carrow Road for the first time since he left the Canaries. Plays the ball upfield, headed on. Should be gathered here by Aarons, who will play it back to goalkeeper Krul. And Krul doesn't mess about with it this time, launches the ball upfield. Skip goes in for the challenge with Joe Allen, wins it. And then that's a poor ball back there from McLean. He's giving it straight to Fletcher, who's one-on-one with Krul, tries to go round him, squeezes the shot goalwards, and Hanley clears it off the line. And that's a corner. My goodness me, Kenny McLean played Norwich into real trouble there.
Yeah, and you can see he's got both hands up and apologising. He just obviously hasn't
corner taken in towards the near post. Norwich have headed it away. We'll get Simon Lappin's thoughts on that in a moment. Campbell couldn't complete the clearance and turn it into a counter-attack. That was a poor ball from McLean.
He's just played it blind, and Fletcher, maybe not in his line of sight, goes through and goes round Krul, but somehow Hanley managed to scramble it away from rolling over the line. But certainly got away with one there.
Absolutely. Header back into the Norwich penalty area for Krul to come and get. That's a good one for Steve Clark, the Scotland manager, to watch, isn't it? McLean releasing Fletcher and Hanley clearing it off the line. My goodness. It was an important clearance. Fletcher just didn't quite get enough on the shot, but that really would have let Stoke back into it. And if you get a chance to see that, McLean's reaction to the pass as soon as he's played it is priceless. Both hands go up.
It's a horrible feeling when you do it like this, I can tell you.
I can only imagine. Here's Klukas, 25 yards out. Klukas plays the ball back to Nick Powell, who tries to feed it through the middle here. Allen gets it out of his feet and finds the substitute Matondo in a good position on the right-hand side. Matondo skipping past Campbell, trying to drive it across, blocked by Yanulis, and it's another Stoke corner.
Yeah, good defending again. Campbell doubling up with Yanulis and forcing them outside, and now Norwich have got a corner to deal with again.
What I should have said, I know a moment ago, Simon, is of course you never did that, so how would you know that it's a horrible feeling? Someone must have told you.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. I'd never been guilty of doing that, Chris.
I missed the opportunity to be polite there, didn't I? 2-0 Norwich lead. Corner to Stoke on the right-hand side, which Klukas is going to take. Can he get one right? Norwich have everyone back to defend it, as they always do from these corners. Played in, high, curling towards the far post, headed back by Chester, but onto the roof of the goal. Again, it was, it stayed up there, actually. That one's balanced, rolling across the roof of Tim Krul's goal at the moment. He'll have to go and punch it off the top of the net. Still, the set pieces haven't been great in this game.
No, they have not. And it's important now as well, because Norwich have to get back to what they were doing in the first half. You know, Stoke haven't created anything, but Norwich have been sort of camped in their own half for the first 5 minutes here.
Yeah. 2-0 to Norwich. Goals in the first half from Campbell and Pukki. And Tim Krul's in two minds here about whether to play this goal kick long or push it short. He's now sent his teammates up the field, so we know what's going to happen.
And there's nothing wrong. You seen that, I think it was one point Ben Gibson just put his foot through it, and Pukki pressing Suter, as you know he will, he puts out for a throw and gets Norwich up the park.
McLean with a good header on there towards Pukki. Pukki loses the challenge though against Suter. And here's Mikel in the midfield. Vrancic nibbling in, committing a foul. Free kick to Stoke on halfway. Don't forget, Norwich were 3 up against Stoke earlier this season, and Stoke did get 2 back in that game, although it was against 10 men. Buendia was sent off, Krul got injured. Long ball forward from Stoke this time. Powell, cushioned header towards the edge of the penalty area, cleared by Hanley. Out towards Vrancic on halfway. It's a bouncing ball. It lands down for Buendia inside his own half. Buendia is dispossessed. And here is Klukas on halfway. Quickly forward to Nick Powell. Wide to the left-hand side, and Morgan Fox, who rolls it into the channel. And Allen's made an intelligent run. He crosses into the Norwich penalty area. Scrambled away by Gibson. Cleared more emphatically by Campwell. Buendia on the right-hand side, inside his own half, finds Skip. And it's passed out towards Vrancic. And this is good passing football from Norwich City inside their own half to get themselves out of a spot of bother. And now McLean has released Giannoulis, who's full of running on the left-hand side. He's raced up the field here to get on the end of this. He finds Campwell on the edge of the Stoke penalty area. Giannoulis available on the left. Plays it back now for McLean, who's on the edge of the area. Works it into the box towards Vrancic, who might well have been offside there, but it's gone through to the goal.
Yeah, really good play from Norwich. Worked it from the right-back area out towards the left wing. And just as it came back into McKenna McLean, he's looking for that little killer pass again. It's on his favoured left foot, thinking maybe he can get out his feet and get a shot at goal here.
Angus Gunn fires the ball upfield. It's over Hanley's head. Gibson around to clear. Launches it high. Buendia battling there on halfway with Morgan Fox and doing well against him. And now Ollie Skip with the side of his foot. Beats it into the path of Pukki. Right wing Pukki holding the ball in play. He's got a goal today. It's 12th of the season. He's working so hard for his team as ever, Teemu Pukki. And the ball is back with Hanley. And now he goes all the way back to Tim Krul. Norwich are 2-0 up against Stoke on BBC Radio Norfolk. Here's McLean. Firm pass back here to Gibson. Now Skip deep inside his own half, looking for the ball out over to the left-hand side. But Stoke have collected it. Here's Allen. McLean goes to close him down. Pass to the substitute, Robbie Matondo out there. Back it comes to John Obi Mikel. Mikel towards the halfway line and Harry Suter. Suter will work it forwards. And it will be Giannoulis who will take control of the situation for Norwich. Krul has come racing up his goal to get it there, but Giannoulis decided to pass it out.
Yeah.
That left Krul.
I think Giannoulis has got to take control of that there. And especially it's so tight. The Stoke players are pressing down on them.
And they've won it back deep inside the Norwich half. And Mikel finds Nick Powell. Powell spins away for a couple of challenges. No foul. And Norwich have got a chance to break. And it's McLean over the halfway line. McLean just can't quite release Pukki, who was there onside in the left wing. Stoke had committed men forward. Vrancic managed to get the foot in on Powell, and it led the Norwich counter-attack. No foul was given, but it didn't get far over the halfway line.
Real chance for Kenny McLean driving through. Well read though by Suter, knowing what he's going to do, and managed to cut out with the long legs that he has.
Here's Aarons. A tall figure, Harry Suter at the back there, isn't he? And the ball goes back to Krul, who passes it out short to Skip in the D on the edge of his own penalty area. The Norwich centre-backs very wide apart at the moment, and Skip just dropping in between them. And now Giannoulis plays one forward positively on the left wing. Picks out Campbell, who brings the ball back into his own half to find Skip. Aarons is in acres of space on this right-hand side, and Skip has played it over the top into Aarons' path. That's a great ball. Aarons is in the Stoke penalty area, crosses it comes off a defender and goes wide. James Chester just had to get something on that and managed to put it past the post for the corner.
Brilliant play from Norwich. Being so patient on that left-hand side, just around the halfway line. And Oliver Skip with a good 40-50 yard diag pass out to Max Aarons, and he just can't get that cross quite right.
Well, it's more than 32 games at Carrow Road since Norwich last scored 3 in a game. That was the Man City win. So I wonder if today they'll do it. Corner, 10 minutes gone in the second half. Norwich lead 2-0. It's Mario Vrancic to take. Gibson and Hanley both going forward. Stoke have left Robbie Matondo up on halfway. So Skip and Aarons are staying back to Try and make sure there's no chance of a quick counter. Corner, right-hand side, left foot from Vrancic, played in towards the far post, headed away firmly up to Rabbi Matondo, who's knitted away from Skip and Buendia, and Matondo is away on the counter-attack here, but Skip recovers well, makes a great challenge, and then just sees it out for a throw-in.
Brilliant again from Skip. He's so good at it, reading danger and getting tackles in, and timing of his tackles, absolutely superb play again from him.
Yeah, and well, a defensive midfielder for Norwich. Again, the kindest thing you can say for him is he's keeping Alex Tettey out of the team. We know what a master Alex Tettey is in that position for Norwich, and Skip has started every league game this season. And you can see why with moments like that.
Absolutely.
Throw into Stoke over on the far side. They're right. Stoke, no wins in 10 before today. Here's Matondo bringing the ball in from the right-hand side. Sets up Fox, who's forward from full-back. 25 yards from goal. Curls the ball into the penalty area dangerously. It's headed behind, though, by Allen, who got in there. Joe Allen looking for his first goal of the season. Goal kick for Norwich.
And well, people talk about the first half. We talk about Pukki, Buendia, Cantwell. But it's guys like Skip, Kenny McLean, what they do in the team, the sort of unsung heroes, if you want to call them that, they give them the platform to do that. So they're so important, and it's so impressed with all Skip this year.
Yeah, he's got the ball now, finding Aarons on the right-hand side. Skip and Aarons, the two players who've started all 29 of Norwich's league games. Aarons getting the ball stuck under his feet there, and it's gone out for a throw into Stoke. Sam Lucas collecting the ball from a big pile of snow, pushed up against the advertising hoardings down below us. Throw in taken towards Powell for Stoke. Buendia gets his body in the way. Powell holds him off and then goes down, and the free kick goes against Buendia, who never hides his frustration when the decision goes against him.
He's certainly not happy with it.
Good news is no card has come out from him, Buendia. But this is the sort of situation that Stoke will fancy in terms of getting back into the game. A free kick, they're 2-0 down. It's just in from the left-hand side. It would be about 25 yards from the Norwich goal. But they'll send Suter forward for it. Chester, I'm sure, will go up as well. And Norwich have to bring everybody back.
Yeah, the one thing that their delivery's not been great today. Corners in the first half, a couple they've had already. And it's certainly something that they will be looking to exploit.
Lucas with the free kick for Stoke from the left-hand side. 2-0 down. Plays it in, and it's gone all the way towards the back post. It's loose in the penalty area, and Vrancic clears. There was a queue of players coming in on it from both sides, and nobody got a touch.
Yeah, the ball fizzed in.
Played forward again by Stoke here. Hanley gets ahead to it, and the ball comes off the top of his head and behind for another Stoke corner. Another set piece to defend.
Yeah, and I think you can hear Buendia screaming there. Frustration. He'd maybe give Hanley a shout to leave it if it's going to go out for a goal kick. But if he's not sure, he's always going to try and get something on it.
And then try and defend the corner.
Exactly.
Lucas delivers from the left-hand side now towards the far post. Hanley's up, gets his head to it. It's not away. It's loose in the penalty area. It's stabbed goalwards, and it's collected by Krul. A few appeals for a penalty there from some of the Stoke players, but nothing given. And Krul hasn't stood on ceremony. He's thrown the ball out to Cantwell. And Cantwell gets tackled, and it will be a throw-in to Stoke over on the far side. Needs to come off Cantwell.
Yeah, I think Krul there, he's so eager to throw the ball to Cantwell. Maybe just calm things down for a minute. Cantwell's on his own. He's got the length of the pitch to run on his own. And instead of feeding him the ball, can he just calm things down for a few moments and get their shape again?
Norwich are 2-0 up. Stoke giving it a go at the start of the second half to get back into it. We've nearly played an hour. Goals in the first half from Cantwell and Pukki for Norwich City, putting them in a strong position. Harry Suter plays one long forward for Stoke. Collins coming forward. Norwich have headed away well. And here's Cantwell on the left-hand side, deep inside his own half, plays the ball back to Yanulis, and now Ben Gibson takes a touch, and back it goes to Krul. Norwich dealing with the Stoke threat at the moment, fairly comfortably, but if they get one back in the next few moments, Stoke, it'll make life interesting. Gibson is closed down, whacks the ball out of play, the ball struck one of the advertising hoardings with such ferocity, it's made it light up on the far side. And it's going to be a throw into Norwich in their left-back position.
Yeah, and again, Norwich will never go away from this, but just taking little risks, doing things that little bit too slow, gives Stoke a chance to press and maybe get the ball back in Norwich's defensive third.
Now the ball play. Oh, what's going on there? Norwich have played the ball straight into trouble, and it's a goal for Stoke. That is a terrible goal to give away. The ball played across the edge of their own penalty area, straight to Nick Powell, who was one-on-one with the goalkeeper and just rolled it into the net. What a terrible, terrible goal to give away. And with an hour on the clock, it's Norwich 2, Stoke 1, and Stoke are back in it. That is a sloppy goal.
Yeah, it's really shocking play. So poor from Yanulis, the ball across the box. Something that goes back to when you're playing football as a kid, don't take that risk playing a ball across your 18-yard box. A square pass. He doesn't get the pass right at all. Straight to the feet of Powell, and the inevitable ends up in the back of the net. But just talking about leading up to that, Chris, that doing things a little bit slow and giving Stoke the opportunity to press them. I'm not saying that he's going to make that mistake there, but it gives them an opportunity. And now that they'll be on the ascendancy, they'll get that confidence and the lift from the goal.
Well, that was a terrible, terrible goal to give away. Yanulis playing the ball across his own penalty area, straight to Nick Powell, who scored. Norwich respond, though. Cantwell's got it up to Vrancic on the edge of the penalty area. Vrancic back heel, back to Cantwell, who puts it over the top. Well, 2-1. This is game on now. Stoke have made another substitution. They've taken off John Obi Mikel, and they've brought on James McLean, so they're going for it in a more attacking sense now. But my goodness, we had a warning, didn't we, with that terrible pass from Kenny McLean earlier on in the first half that nearly let Fletcher in, and that one from Yanulis, playing the ball across the edge of his own penalty, straight to Powell, who's scored his third in 4 games.
And I don't see the total control of the game. Don't take the risk. Don't even think about playing a pass across your own 18-yard box. As you see, you got away with one maybe 10 minutes before with Kenny McLean. But a real poor moment from Yanulis there.
Ball played back by Hanley to Krul. Krul clears the ball upfield. 2-1. Game well and truly on at Carrow Road. Aarons firmly fires the ball forward. Pukki gets his head down and chases it. Gunn comes out of his penalty area and only just gets there before Pukki and clears upfield. Buendia plays a nice little 1-2 with Skip on halfway. Buendia dragged back by Joe Allen. That's a clear free kick. And it was just as you felt that Norwich had weathered the storm a little bit. They've now given Stoke some encouragement. But here's Vrancic working hard. Gets tackled. Klukas for Stoke. Finds Matondo, one of the substitutes. On now to Nick Powell, who comes racing forward. He cannot get past Ollie Skip, though. Skip does fantastically well there, and then slaloms around a couple of challenges. Overruns it slightly, though, and gives possession away. Joe Allen's got the captain's armband now for Stoke, with Mikel having gone off. 2-1, Norwich still lead. The ball played forward there for Matondo to try and chase it. Yanulis up back. Yanulis plays the ball back to goalkeeper Krul, who slips as he kicks the ball away, but it's good connection. No harm done. And here's Gibson for Norwich City.
And I think that's the word that you used there, just encouragement that gives Stoke that Norwich, they weren't under any real pressure. The chances that Stoke had is from Norwich's own undoing. With Ken McLean with a poor pass, and then obviously the one with Munoz that led to the goal. But it just gives Stoke that encouragement and belief in a game that Norwich were in total control of.
Buendia has picked out Cantwell on the right-hand side. Cantwell onto Yanulis, who's in the Stoke penalty area this time. Round the back, cuts it back for Buendia! 3 goals for Norwich City! Yanulis, well, he was at fault for the Stoke goal a minute ago, and now he's created one for Norwich City. He cuts it back to Buendia. Buendia is back in the Norwich team, and back with a goal. Their 2-goal advantage is restored, and for the first time since they beat Manchester City in the Premier League, Norwich City have scored 3 goals in a game at Carrow Road. It's Norwich 3, Stoke 1.
And he'll be the most relieved man inside Carrow Park. Great play from Norwich and a great ball from You've got to give him credit here. The mistake for the goal, but lovely play, lovely ball from Cantwell down the side to him. So eager to get forward. Does well to get the ball down, and the cutback as Buendia arrives onto his left foot and finds the far corner. Brilliant goal from Norwich. And it gives him that little bit of breathing space again.
Norwich 3-1 up. Yanulis, I've heard of an own goal. I don't know if you can get an own assist, but he did one of those a moment ago, and then 4 minutes later he creates one at the right end. So cuts that one back perfectly from the left-hand side for Buendia to score. So he's making it interesting this game, isn't he? Yanulis?
He certainly is. I say, he's totally redeemed himself there with the assist, and he'll be so relieved.
A change imminent for Norwich City over on the far side. They lead 3-1. Perhaps extinguishing some of that Stoke encouragement we were talking about, although here's Fox crossing from the left-hand side for Stoke. Hanley heads it away. It might fall for Vrancic. Vrancic steers it forward. Pukki sets off after it. Pukki gathers. He's on his own on the right-hand side at the moment, but he's gone past a couple of challenges. Oh, Suter slides and wins the ball off Pukki right on the edge of the penalty area.
Really unlucky. If we could get play, get positive drive and run.
Here comes Yanulis again. Can't kick him out of the game at the moment. He runs forward up towards the edge of the Stoke penalty area. Feeds Cantwell to the left. Cantwell curls the ball across and it bounces behind for a goal kick. 3-1 to Norwich City. We've seen Yanulis give a goal away at one end and then create one at the right end. Is it Lucas Ruff about to come on for Norwich, I think? That looks like the change over on the far side.
Yeah, just looking at the replay from Cantwell there, it's sort of a cross-come shot from you. I think he maybe caught in 2 minds what to do with the ball at that point.
Ball is deep inside the Norwich half. McLean has put the ball back into his own penalty area, and Krul comes and kicks it straight against Powell, and it's run free, and it has to be cleared away by Norwich City. It's scary stuff at the back suddenly for Norwich.
Hearts and mouths moment
again. Incredible. Here's Vrancic though. He's trying to release Pukki. This is such an open game. Norwich are 3-1 up. Pukki, 25 yards from goal. Gets it back to Teemu Pukki, who's just got his 8th goal of the season. He finds Campbell on the left wing.
And this is where they need to now start getting passes and string passes together. When they've got Stoke in their half, this is where they're strongest.
Buendia to Pukki. Back to Buendia into the Stoke penalty area. Smuggles it through to Vrancic. There's a crowd of defenders there. And in the end, Stoke, just by sheer weight of numbers, have seen the ball away. Hanley's header on halfway. It lands for Powell. Wide to the left, and James McLean, who's been sent on for Stoke. Now Powell playing it forward. It goes through to Tim Krul.
Yeah, I think the mix-up a couple of moments ago, it started with the ball dropped to Kenny McLean, and I think it was Grant Hanley. So he's got to take responsibility there, Grant Hanley. He's facing the play and put his foot through it.
Here comes Stoke. James McLean on the left-hand side, up towards the edge of the Norwich penalty area. Takes on Kenny McLean, gets the ball across the face of goal, and there was a touch, I think, and it's gone behind for a corner.
Yeah, good play from McLean. Throws in a couple of step overs, gets it back onto his strong left foot and tries to fire it towards the far post. But good defending from Kenny McLean. Manages, I don't know if it was Kenny McLean or come off Grant Hanley, but I've seen the danger out.
Yeah, well, that was James McLean, 5 years in the Premier League in his career, with West Brom, with Sunderland, and now playing for Stoke in the Championship and really getting them back into this one again. We're halfway through the second half, 3-1 to Norwich. Stoke corner, curling in from the right-hand side, headed into the danger zone by Suter. Norwich get there, headed away, and then Campbell completes the clearance. But Norwich had everyone back behind the ball, so it may well come back. In fact, there's a player down. Skip is injured inside the penalty area. The ref will have to stop it.
I think he's got a sore one in the head there, but good defending from Norwich. The long, deep corner towards Suter, who puts it back in. And then Norwich just desperate to get their head. I think it's Skip.
Looks a bit dazed though, doesn't he, Skip? Yeah, this is a concern. We know how much emphasis there is at the moment on head injuries and the after effects, and you can see Hanley and Krul are very concerned about Skip here, and in fact Krul is just laying Skip down again, telling him to sit down, because he got up and was keen to carry on, but the monitor we've got showed a close-up of Skip's face, and he looked really dazed. And really, Norwich cannot take any chances in this situation. The corner headed into the danger area.
I think it's a forearm from somebody that's...
Yeah, difficult to see what happened, really. We're seeing it again here. Skip on the edge of the 6-yard box. Oh, it's... I think one of the Stoke players comes over the top of him. He gets a knee in the side of the head, doesn't he, I think?
Certainly so, and hopefully he's okay.
Yeah. They need to take their time with this one, though. Lucas Rook was ready to come on anyway. I don't think it would have been Skip going off, but they might have to think about doing something here with Skip. But it just gives us a time to reflect. Simon, after a frantic start to this second half, Norwich are 3-1 up. We've been waiting them, I mentioned, since they beat Man City the last time. They got 3 in a game at Carrow Road. So that's a good sign, isn't it? The goals are starting to flow again now.
Yeah, especially we made so much about it before the game that hadn't scored in 4 games, but they've certainly had chances today, other than the goals as well, which is we'll be absolutely thrilled about. And they've obviously conceded a poor goal, but great reaction again, especially from Giannoulis to go and get the assist, put the disappointment of conceding the goal behind them, and again gives Norwich that little bit of breathing space. But it's certainly been frantic. You know, we knew that there'd be a reaction from Stoke. They're 2-0 down away from home, we've got nothing to lose. And they didn't really create anything other than Norwich created it for them, and the mistake from McLean, the mistake from Giannoulis. But
they seem to be happy with Skip carrying on here. What do you make of that?
No, they're professionals. These guys are the club doctor and physio, and they'll obviously assess him properly, make sure that he is okay to continue. There's no way, as you said, so much has been made of it recently that if he wasn't fit to continue, they certainly have to take him off.
Mario Vrancic is going to make way for Lucas Rudd. That's one change with 20 minutes to go. And I think Stoke are going to bring on Sam Vokes as well. I saw him getting ready a moment ago. He's a player who Norwich fans know all about. A brief spell on loan with Norwich, and indeed he does come on for Stephen Fletcher. So that's a straight swap. One big target man going off in Stephen Fletcher, who hasn't scored today. He's had a couple of chances. One of them, the best of them, given to him by Kenny McLean. Sam Vokes comes on to replace him. You might remember Vokes playing 4 games for Norwich in 2011 when they were promoted to the Premier League under Paul Lambert.
Scored at Watford, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And played a pass in the 5-1 at Portman Road, didn't he, as well? And on he comes. Comes on with his side 3-1 down against Norwich, who will be the league leaders once again if it stays like this. And it'll be over to Brentford tomorrow, who play Barnsley. Cantwell goes down inside his own half. No foul is given. Stoke sense an opportunity. The ball out towards Klukas here, and Collins brings the ball into the penalty area. He's got Matondo outside him. The fullback now does use Klukas outside the penalty area. Eventually it does come out to the right wing in Matondo. Matondo shows Cantwell a clean pair of heels, drives the cross in. McLean is there to clear for Norwich City. And the ball bounces over towards Nathan Collins on the right-hand side, who holds it in play. Poor pass. Norwich have one possession back. And it's Buendia who will look for Rupp, who's just come on. It was a sliding tackle from Klukas. He had to get right, and he did. And Stoke have possession again.
Yeah, the tackle from behind. He's not got Rupp at all, so there's no complaints from Rupp. Good tackle from Klukas.
3-1 to Norwich City. Stoke have not given this one up, though. Of course, Norwich a few issues in this second half. Well, maybe I should say Norwich, of course, Norwich a few issues in this second half.
And that's the thing, Chris. As I said, they look so comfortable. And yeah, they were in their own half for the first 5-10 minutes.
Ball forward here from Stoke. Powell could be in. He cushioned header into the path of James McLean on the edge of the penalty area. I was going to say it's a curling shot, but he's forgotten to curl it. It's gone out of play for a throw-in instead over on the far side.
It's curling towards the halfway line. But no, as I said, Norwich have their own downfall. The mistake from Kenny, as we said, that they got away with. And then the one from Yanulis, I'm pretty sure he'll never try that pass again.
If you're just joining us, Yanulis playing a ball across the edge of his own area, straight to Nick Powell, who scored for Stoke. But 4 minutes later, Yanulis raced up the other end and set up Buendia for Norwich's third. That's how we got to 3-1. Now Cantwell, an up and under. Bit of a Six Nations ball forward there from Cantwell that Pukki is chasing. Chester gets the head back to Angus Gunn.
And you can see what Yanulis was trying to do. He's seen that Max Allen's in the right-hand side. And he's tried to play it out to him, but he's got it all wrong, and that's the risk he takes.
Buendia plays a lovely ball into the penalty area for Cantwell across to Pukki. Oh, it's hit him on the heels, and Chester bundles it back to the goalkeeper. We had a move there involving Buendia, Cantwell, and Pukki, the goal scorers today. Norwich's front three, but they couldn't make the game safe.
Lovely ball from Buendia and centre of the pitch from the outside of your right foot out towards Cantwell, who's busting into the box. I think Cantwell, I don't know if he's maybe trying to shoot, gets it wrong, and the ball just drops behind Pukki. Can't quite get anything on it, can't get any touches on it to put it in the net.
Gibson for Norwich, and then as well to play it towards the halfway line, and McLean plays it in behind Chester, or at least tries to, but Chester reacts, gets something on it and prevents Pukki from breaking forward. And Buendia's penalised for a foul on halfway. Keep your mouth shut, Emmy. Free kick to Stoke.
And just had a couple of occasions that Norwich have been in that situation where Pukki's peeled and he's in to get the ball right, and he can't just quite get it over Chester or Suter or down the side of him, but certainly had the opportunity to do it a few times.
Stoke go long from the free kick, as you'd expect in their situation. Headed away by McLean, gathered down by Chester. It comes wide to the left-hand side, and Morgan Fox. He's played it on towards James McLean on the left-hand side. Buendia makes the challenge. Aarons makes the challenge, and between them, they've got it back for Norwich City. Ollie Skip plays it up towards the halfway line. Won't quite run for Pukki. Instead, it will eventually find its way to Suter, the centre half, in the centre circle for Stoke. Chased down well by Rupp. And now Collins squeezes it out towards Matondo on the right-hand side. Yanulis does well to get the foot in on him.
Pressure from Yanulis. Not let Matondo get faced up and get a run at him.
And the ball goes back to Angus Gunn. And former Norwich goalkeeper clears long. Hanley wins the header to get Norwich straight back in possession. Here's Lucas Rupp. Yanulis making a run on the left-hand side, and Rupp gives it to him now. Greek international stops and plays it back to Rupp, who's his first sub in this game. And the Canaries have control of the ball. 15 minutes to go. Norwich 3, Stoke 1. Norwich get a throw in. It looks as if Stoke are going to still commit men forward and try and get back into the game, which will make it interesting, because a couple of times it's threatened to open up for Norwich as well, hasn't it?
Exactly that. That Norwich, they will see that the Stoke are going to go on the press. They have to see if they're going to get anything out of the game, and that's for Norwich.
And now Skip's giving the ball away, and here comes Stoke, and it's Allen finding James McLean on the edge of the penalty area in the D. Sets up Klukas now. Hanley close to him. The ball comes towards the left-hand side, and Fox, and that's a great sliding tackle from Aarons, perfectly timed, just nicked it away from Morgan Fox. And Norwich will now try to set one of these counter-attacks, and it's Cantwell who finds Lucas Rupp emerging on the attack for Norwich City. 25 yards from goal, he hits one, a bouncing one, and Angus Gunn makes the save.
Yeah, pretty easy one for Angus Gunn. You can see Max Allen so frustrated on the right-hand side. Maybe taking the wrong option there, but as you say, Chris, that's exactly what happens. Stoke will have to go for a little bit, and this is where Norwich can really hurt them and play their football in between them, in between midfield, in between the fence.
Rupp's wait for a first Norwich goal goes on. Here's Hanley, plays it all the way back to Tim Krul. Norwich City 3, Stoke City 1 on BBC Radio Norfolk.
And that third goal, to give them that little bit of breathing space again, because it's just settled Norwich down again. They had that rocky kind of 10 minutes.
So important to get that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very quickly after they just allowed Stoke back into it as well.
We talk about Stoke having a reaction at half time. The reaction from conceding the goal from Norwich was absolutely fantastic.
Skip trying to thread the ball through to Cantwell, couldn't find him. And now Stoke have got possession in the midfield with Allen. So experienced. So Collins on the right hand side. Good play from McLean, Kenny McLean that is, who makes the tackle and then claims the throw in, but it's gone Stoke's way.
Pressure again. But not just Kenny McLean, they're doing it. It's all over the side. You see, everybody's so desperate to go and win the ball back and not let Stoke players get their heads up.
Ball is back with Chester at the back for Stoke. It's a firm pass towards the left, and Morgan Fox knew he wasn't going to get that. It'll be a Norwich throw. 14 minutes to go. Norwich have a good cushion here. 3-1 up, with their front three all scoring. Just at a time when you were concerned about a lack of goals for Norwich, to have Cantwell, Pukki and Buendia all scoring in the same game, just get the confidence going again. They go to Coventry on Wednesday night. That's the next game you can hear with us on BBC Radio Norfolk. Aaron's caught out there. James McLean coming forward for Stoke, 25 yards out. Looks for support from Collins. Cantwell's done well to track back with him. Collins keeps the attack going though by finding the skipper Joe Allen, who tries to find his Welsh teammate Matondo, but the ball's gone behind for a goal kick.
And again, Stoke just pressing Norwich there and maybe trying to overplay in this right-hand side. But luckily it comes to nothing. But this is where Norwich need to try and kill the game now. Not so much with goals, but if they are going to try and play it and start to pick Stoke off, because as we said, Stoke are going to go and press, they have to.
Norwich lead 3-1. Matondo, who's come on, was with the Man City Academy and then moved over to Schalke. A bit of a Jadon Sancho sort of move, going over to the Bundesliga. Had a few games there, but coming on loan to Stoke in January. Krul playing a short back pass out there to Hanley. He's got it up to Rook. And now Aaron on the right-hand side plays it forward early. They've got Pukki and Cantwell setting off after it. Headed down from Suter. Picked up though by Pukki. Right edge of the penalty area. Into the path of Todd Cantwell, who's on the corner of the box. Cantwell gets himself into a central position. Holds off one challenge. Releases Aaron's on the right-hand side. Aaron's brings the ball carefully into the penalty area. Sets up Buendia, who's been dragged down. Penalty for Norwich City. Teemu Buendia has got a goal on his return. He set up a goal, and now he's won a penalty, and he's going to take it. He's told Teemu Pukki where to go. Pukki came over as if he wanted to take it, but it's going to be Buendia's penalty, I think. No, he's now given it to Pukki. A bit of confusion there.
I would think Pukki will pull rank and take that, but lovely bit of skill from Buendia, just to stand on the ball and draw the tackle. But just in the build-up to the play, Chris, a little bit of brilliant play from Teemu Pukki. If we get to see it back that far, and Suter goes to win the header, Pukki just drops off, anticipating where he's going to head the ball, and starts the attack from there.
So 11 minutes to go, and Angus Gunn, back at Carrow Road, finds himself facing a penalty. Teemu Pukki, if he scores this, you'd think it would be game over. Pukki with a slow run-up, takes the penalty, scores! Gunn goes the wrong way, and the goals are flowing again for Norwich City. After 4 games without a goal, they've got 4 in 1 here at Carrow Road this afternoon. Pukki's got 2 of them. Now with 11 minutes to go, it is Norwich City 4, Stoke City 1.
Yeah, great penalty from Pukki, great composure, sends Angus Gunn the wrong way, and as you say, surely that's 3 points for Norwich, and they thoroughly deserve it.
They do. And again, you look at Stoke's records this season, only 2 away defeats. They've drawn all of their last 7 away games of Stoke. They've only lost at Swansea and Watford before today. So to be 4-1 up against them here with 10 minutes to go, this is an impressive result.
It certainly is, and especially coming off the back of, you see, the mini. It certainly was mini. It's not a crisis by any stretch, but
there's still a bit of concern about Oliver Skip here. You know?
Yeah,
they're going to have to take him off, because whether it's still that head injury, I was surprised he stayed on after it, because he looked so dazed, and now he's gone down again. And the Norwich medical staff are on. I can see Jacob Sorensen getting ready to come on, so we are going to see him as a midfielder today, Sorensen, I think. Anyway, there's a couple of subs getting ready out there.
And I'm not sure if it's one of the other players I've actually mentioned.
I think they have, yeah.
He's not quite right.
Yeah, Skip is going to... He still seems as if he's pleading to stay on here, doesn't he, Skip?
I don't know if he's speaking with the referee about something, but if there's any risk in that. As I said, when they assessed him the first time, you'd like to think that they would not have sent him back on if everything was well in their assessment. If it's about the kid's health, it's the most important thing is that.
And look at that, we're just seeing the replay here of how dazed he looked at the time, and he's played on for a good 10 minutes initially. He's led away now, is Skip. Jacob Sorensen comes on. to replace him for the last 10 minutes. And again, they're also going to take off Todd Cantwell and bring on Onel Hernandez. And also, you're 4-1 up with 9 minutes to go.
Yeah.
You don't need to take a risk here with anyone.
Not at all. Not at all.
There's no justification for it, really.
You'd like to think now that take out any mistakes or any risks. The 3 points are in the bag, and there's no point in risking any if you don't have to.
So Onel Hernandez continues his comeback, and we're going to get a couple of Stoke changes as well. So we still haven't restarted since that fourth Norwich goal, the penalty from Pukki. Lucas is going to be replaced in midfield, and they're going to bring on Jordan Cousins from Charlton QPR. He's going to come on. And they've got another sub ready to come on as well. So Michael O'Neill is making full use of his subs today. He's making all 5 changes. These permitted. Joe Allen is going to be replaced by Jordan Thompson as well. Thompson, a player who scored against Tottenham in the League Cup earlier this season in a game that Stoke lost. Northern Ireland international, so well known to his manager, the former Northern Ireland manager, Michael O'Neill. On he comes as well. So a real stoppage since that goal. We hope Skip's okay. And on we go. Finally, we're back underway. Norwich 4-1 up against Stoke City at Carrow Road. Aaron's clearing it away. It's Thompson who's just come on, who gets an immediate touch. And the ball curled in from the left by Fox, looking for Mutombo in the penalty area. Yanudis heads it away. Hernandez is playing on the left wing for Norwich. Gets it to Lucas Rupp. And Rupp has it inside his own half. Gets the foot on the ball and plays it back to Ben Gibson. Gibson, a little move there. And then diagonal ball hit forward, looking for Buendia. Loose header there from Fox. Buendia heads it to McLean, down to Buendia. And now with the outside of the foot, Buendia has released the substitute Hernandez on the left-hand side. Onel Hernandez skips into the Stoke penalty area. Can he get among the goals? He's played it out of the box to Rupp. Back to Buendia, halfway inside the Stoke half. Buendia now will get it out to the left wing again. And Yanudis. Back again to Buendia, who's tackled this time by Powell. And Stoke could be in here. Lifts it up towards Vokes. It's over his head. James McLean arriving on the edge of the box for Stoke. Into the area he goes. Tries to drive the ball straight through Hanley.
Yeah, great defender, Hanley. Stands strong.
Yes, Buendia's down injured over on the far side here. Hopefully that's just a bit of cramp. He's picking himself up now. And Buendia plays the ball over to that side of the pitch where Hernandez is in for Norwich City. Up to the edge of the Stoke penalty area goes Onel Hernandez. Buendia is available. Hernandez gets into a central position. Finds the route to goal blocked off. So gives it to Pukki in the area. Pukki back out of the area now to Sorensen, who's playing in midfield. His more natural position after coming on as a substitute. Norwich are 4-1 up. 7 minutes to go at Carrow Road. Played forward to Sorensen, who's caught by Fox and buys a free kick. That was well played.
Yeah, just good experience there from Sorensen. Just knowing the defenders coming in behind him, just buys the foul. But you'd like to think Norwich now that they'll get the foot of the ball and just see the game out.
Well, they're going to make their final 2 changes as well. Teemu Pukki, who has certainly made his presence felt on his return to the team today. No doubt that Norwich do miss him. He scored a goal today. He's set up a couple of others. The charge down to set up Pukki for the first. He won a penalty as well. Kieran Dowell will replace him. And it looks like Pukki's going to go off as well. He's got 2 today. And Adam Eader's coming on. So they've all scored today. Norwich is attacking 3. And they're all going to get the last 6 minutes off.
Yeah, they well-deserved rest, all of them. Been outstanding. You say about Buendia, everything that's been good has gone through him in an attacking sense. He's been outstanding today.
Pukki with 2 goals to his name now, taking him to 13 for the season. And that will just do everyone such a lot of good. When there was concern about Norwich's goals output, they've got 4 with 5 minutes still to go in this game. 4-1 up. It's played back to Hanley. And the City skipper finds Sorensen. And back it goes to Gibson inside his own half. And Gibson aims the ball out towards the left wing, looking for Hernandez. Collins heads it away. Rupp gets a foot in. It's fallen for Hernandez. And now Rupp back to Yanudis on the left-hand side. Sorensen plays it back to Gibson on halfway. And it's rolled back to Jacob Sorensen, who's closed down there well by Thompson. And Hanley sweeps up and gets it back to goalkeeper Krul. Can I recall, coming up after the game, your chance to talk to Simon Lappin and Rob about Norwich getting 4 goals in a game for the first time this season. Got a player down there. It's McLean, feeling the side of his head. I think he's going to be okay. And Norwich 4-1 up against Stoke. Real, just the sort of performance, just the sort of result they needed at this point.
Absolutely. Given they come off the back of Yeah, disappointing. Again, they've only lost one game in that 3 games, but it's just the fact the lack of goals. So to go and score 4 at home and get 3 points and get back on track will do everybody the world of good.
Krul with a long kick. Adamida chases it and causes Suter a few problems here, and indeed gets a foot on the ball. Can't quite get the ball away from Suter, who drives it long towards the halfway line. It's headed on by Stoke, gathered by Powell, played up towards James McLean. Aaron's across in the left-back position here, sweeping up and doing a good job for Norwich City. Has the ball by his own corner flag here, pinned in by James McLean. Shows remarkable composure, but then McLean nicks the ball off him and curls the ball in from that position. No one in the penalty area able to get on the end of it for Stoke. And Tim Krul will chase it out to the right-back position for Norwich City and then bring it back into his penalty area. As much as it's 4-1 now, Simon, and it looks comfortable, we go back to that moment just past the hour where it's a terrible mistake from Yanulis. Powell scores 2-1. It's game on. You've got to give Norwich credit for how they've handled that situation, because it didn't look like a 4-1 game at that point, did it?
It certainly did not, Chris. And as you said, you have to give them huge credit, because it would be easy for Norwich to, be kind of jilted by it and just sit in a little bit for 5-10 minutes. But no, they keep sticking to what they've been doing and they play on the front foot, and they won't get that third goal, which gives them that cushion again, which was, the timing of it was perfect, as I said, to concede it, to go and score and give you that 2-goal gap again right after it was brilliant.
Yeah, that was a big moment. And then since then they've added a penalty as well. James McLean chasing one forward for Stoke. It's covered well by Max Aarons, and the Norwich right back will find Dow, who plays the ball back into his own penalty area, finds Hanley, and here's Lucas Rupp. Both sides have sent on their 5 substitutes now. Here's Sorensen, one of the Norwich changes, wide to the right, and Kenny McLean. He's got Down in front of him. Instead, he's gone infield to Sorensen. And now Rupp back to the Dane Sorensen. On to Kenny McLean. McLean sets off. He's halfway inside the Stoke half. He tries to roll it in behind for Hernandez to get onto. Hernandez is there. Goal side of James Chester. Plays it across, but can't forget a teammate. Might run for Dowell on the edge of the penalty area. Dowell keeps it alive against Cousins. And now here's Sorensen. Wide to the right, and Max Aarons. On to Hernandez, who's on the right wing at the moment for Norwich City. Back to Sorensen. And to Hanley on halfway. Hanley being chased by Sam Vokes here. And so goes back to Tim Krul. Minute and a half to go, plus stoppage time. Norwich 4-1 up against Stoke City at Carrow Road. It will land on halfway for Rupp. Rupp will twist and turn.
Yeah, even though they're 4-1 down, Stoke, they've not given up the ghost at all. They're still pressing and not letting Norwich settle and just pass the game out and see out the 90 minutes. They're still giving it a go.
Well, they've drawn a lot of games this season, Stoke. They've got a player down injured there after a collision around the halfway line. I was just going to say with Stoke, they do draw a lot of games, but this is no wins in 11 for them now. So for a club with their recent Premier League status, I know things have changed and they've been struggling in the Championship for the last couple of seasons, but no wins in 11. That's not clever, is it?
No, and it's surprising to see that they're actually 9th in the Championship table, considering that's that, Chris. It's pretty incredible.
But having said that, if anyone from the boardroom calls Michael O'Neill in on Monday morning and says, come on, no wins in 11, he can say, yeah, but we've only lost 1 out of 10 away.
Yeah,
when you draw so many games, exactly. You can argue it either way, can't you?
Exactly. It's the fine margins of turning these draws into wins, and all of a sudden, if they maybe 3 or 4 of them, they're up there challenging top 6.
There's certainly concern here about Collins, who was down injured on halfway and hasn't got up yet. And it does look as if they're calling for the stretcher, are they? I can see the stretcher bearers getting ready over on that side and coming on. So it might be that Stoke are going to have to finish with 10 players here, because they've made all 5 of their substitutions. And I don't know that Nathan Collins is going to play any further part in this game. It doesn't look good for him, does it?
Especially with, as you said, the stretcher on, all the medical staff around about him. I don't know if he's fell or if there's been a collision.
Well, the medical staff here in their bright fluorescent jackets, all wrapped up warm, and also with the PPE on as well. Of course, we have to. No chances taken around football. And Collins, I think, is going to play no further part in this game. This doesn't look particularly clever for him. It's that left knee, is it? Or left ankle, I think. Just slightly difficult to see from the angle we're getting. Yeah. But he does look in some pain. And this is a real shame for the 19-year-old who scored against Norwich earlier this season. 4-1 down. And now 90 minutes up as well. 3 minutes of stoppage time were signalled, but there's going to be Well, more than that now, we're into it.
Yeah,
but we've got this lengthy stoppage for Nathan Collins, and this is never nice to see.
No, not at all. You just hope the kid's okay, and the stretch and everything's on, but you just hope it's nothing too serious. It's all precaution.
Still, he's getting treatment, which before Canary call, and your chance to call in and have your say with Rob and with Simon Lappin, who's been watching this one with us. I'm not sure we've learned anything new about Norwich City today from this game, have we, Simon? It sort of showed us what we all thought they were capable of, I think, because I think one of the reasons why the 4 games without a goal has been such a concern is that we know the players are capable of better. And yes, Buendia's back, but I think it's the other attacking players who've really stepped up today as well.
And I think people will just draw on that conclusion that it's because of Buendia. Yeah, he has been fantastic. There's no doubt about it. But as you say, these players are capable of it. It doesn't just mean because one player, he's not making the whole team tick, if you know what I mean. Yeah, as I said, he's been brilliant today. But it's up to everybody else to chip in. They've certainly done that today. And it shows you the fine lines of when they get that first goal, it just gives them that confidence and that belief again. And yeah, they can take the mistakes out. But it's certainly been a comfortable performance when you take out those mistakes and the opportunities that Norwich have given to Stoke.
It's 4-1 to Norwich City. We've got 3 minutes of stoppage time officially to play. Collins is still being treated on the pitch. Is there an argument for the referee just to blow the final whistle here? Because otherwise Stoke are going to have to play on with 10 men. You can see how cold everyone's getting. The players are just having their own off-the-ball warm-up now. Do we have to play these last 3 minutes officially?
For our benefit? I hope not. I can't feel my toes. No, but I hope the kid's okay.
He doesn't get ready to leave the pitch now. Yeah, they've got him on the stretcher. Stoke don't have any more substitutes they can bring on, but they really have taken a long time over this, and well they might, because it looks a nasty one. Poor old Nathan Collins has had such a promising breakthrough season, really. Scored against the Canaries earlier this season. He's now being carefully led away from Carrow Road on a stretcher. Smattering of applause inside the ground. Of course, no fans in, which means that usually players get clapped off when this happens. A sympathetic round of applause, and without any fans, it's the Norwich dugout actually that's applauding Collins away down the tunnel. So we've got 3 minutes of this game still to go. We still haven't actually seen a replay of what happened, so I don't think it was anything untoward. I don't think it was a bad challenge or anything. And the ball is going to be played back to goalkeeper Gunn, and off we go for the final few minutes of this game. 4-1 to Norwich. Angus Gunn with the right foot will play it long. Aimed at the heart of the Norwich defence. It's Hanley who wins the header, and it's Rupp who clears further upfield. Suter gets a touch on halfway, loops it forward. Hanley heads it away again. It's fallen for there's Thompson though on the left wing for Stoke. He's got Morgan Fox with him. Fox curls the ball towards the penalty area. Hanley's up and heads it away. And here's Rupp, who gets tackled by Nick Powell. Sorensen gets a foot in well. And it will be Aarons who will clear from the right-back position for Norwich City, up towards halfway. Adam Eder hasn't had too much of an opportunity to get involved in the game since coming on. There's a throw in there for Norwich City.
Yeah, the game's not really going, obviously, with the amount of substitutions after the penalty. And then, obviously, our injury.
And that's full time. Well, there wasn't long left after that long injury for Nathan Collins. And it's Norwich City who return to form, not just in terms of the result, not just in terms of going top of the table, but in terms of the goals as well. They've gone 4 games without a goal. This afternoon, it's 4 in 1, and all of their attacking players weighing in. Teemu Pukki got 2 of them, the second of which was a penalty. Todd Cantwell opened the scoring. And there was one for Teemu Buendia as well, who on his return was central to everything that Norwich City did, winning a penalty, setting up one of Pukki's goals and scoring one himself. He was back, but it wasn't just him being back. I would say Norwich City were back today, weren't they, Simon?
Absolutely. Full value for the 3 points. They were excellent from start to finish. Again, we go back to that chance for Stoke in the first minute for John Obi Mikel, but from then on in, it was all Norwich in the first half. 2 wonderful goals, one from a total football point of view, one from the work ethic from Teemu Buendia for the tap-in from Pukki. A couple of hearts and mouths moments in the second half, but a great reaction again from Norwich to go and get the 3rd goal when they concede, and it sort of kills the game off, and the icing on the cake's a penalty from Pukki, and thoroughly deserved 3 points for Norwich.
Yeah, a warm embrace there between Angus Gunn and Daniel Farker. Of course, Gunn was the goalkeeper in Farker's first season at Carrow Road, but so much has happened since then, and it's Norwich City who temporarily